truth? Are you tired of being so confused? You feel like you're more fucked up than the lies on the evening news? Well, just step right in. We can talk about it all as friends. And if you want, we can hug and kiss and make up for the party ends. Agree or disagree, stop offering me. 'Cause I'm everything you want, damn sure what you need. I won't tell no lies, back up all the facts with truth. And if you can't get down with that, you must be somebody's dog.
What's up, everybody? It's Ryan Weaver. I am on the Don't Unfriend Me show, otherwise known as The Dumb Show, with host Matt Spear. You guys can find the show at The Dumb Show on social media or thedumbshow.com.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me show with your hosts Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. Livy, welcome.
Hello.
Welcome to YouTube and Rumble. Looks like Rumble's going to be tough because Dan Bongino is over on Haley's channel, and Haley Coronia. And she took over for Dan at the 7 o'clock hour and did kind of his night stuff, and Vince Collinace did his daytime. So I can't imagine that we're going to have a lot of people on. So we're going to just show you the Bongino. We have a full packed night. We've busted our behinds tonight to give you guys everything you need, but we didn't expect to be able to compete with Bongino. So we have got a few on, but we expect Rumble to be a little difficult. So there's two things I want to address. The first thing I want to address is thank you for watching the show. We're kind of doing a new format for our live show. It's more rapid fire. It's not just surfing Twitter. It's actually investing the time, building the videos, getting the talking points and everything that we want laid out. And then obviously expanding into the videos that we were doing, the single videos that I stopped doing in December. It just got too jam-packed. And then we want to bring those back. So just FYI, anticipate more expansion and growth over the last 90 days has been a little slower, and we expect to ramp it back up, especially having a lot of guests on and things to that effect. Second thing is that there was a gentleman that came on when Olivia was on last, and his name was Jefferson Billingsley, and there was a reaction that I had to this gentleman. At first, it was it was a good reaction, and I thought it was Mike Billingsley, who was an old friend of mine, who was a manager of mine. Big Mike was his name, and he was in Colorado at Game Crazy, and that's who I thought it was. And who it wound up being was a person 4.5 years ago who used to watch the show, who was a loyal fan, was on all the time, talked all the time, and he was part of the other moderator crowd, and he was kind of excommunicated from the show because he had sent us like $500 worth of Scentsy stuff. I don't know if you know what Scentsy is, but first of all, I hate that shit. And I never asked for it. And I never wanted it because I'm allergic to most perfumes, flowery style perfumes. I got to do vanilla and apple, but pumpkin. But if you have any flowers, it kills me. Like I can't even be near it. I'll tell you how bad my allergies got. I'm allergic to my chair. If that tells you anything, that tells you anything.
So he's got a latex allergy anyway. So super sensitive skin, and
very, very sensitive man.
Yes, very. Well, that darn sunset.
The sun just won't go down. Would you like Shishwa salad with dolphin safe tuna?
Funny.
Okay,
so about 3 years ago, downstairs, when we first moved in, we bought a gray couch to match couch wasn't that comfortable. So we ended up buying 2 like knockoff lazy boy chairs from Wayfair.
Synthetic.
And ever since then, it just slowly just started like, the nose was a little stuffy. His skin would kind of hurt.
I'd have to
when
wear
he touched, he had to wear arm protection.
Arm sleeves when I was playing my game because my skin would burn on fire. It would feel like fire touched it.
Yeah. And then just in the last like 2 months, he's like, I think there is mold down here. He goes, this is awful. And then we finally made the connection that it might be the chair. So I said, you know what? Let's put a blanket over the chair.
Haven't had any problems since.
Haven't had any issues. So we have to get rid of these chairs.
We need a good donation night, folks. We need to buy a couple of chairs. Yes. No, that's not what we're saying. But the point is, but here's the thing. The kids love their little stuffed animals. Olivia had a couple tarts that she could melt that she enjoyed. So we left a very positive review. In fact, we put it on our show 3 times and we gave a phone number and everything else. Unbeknownst to us, we were just trying to be nice and we couldn't believe someone gave us $500 worth of stuff. We were so excited. We didn't get to pick it up because it was holidays and it was insane and it was COVID and there was a lot going on and it was hard to get down there to get packages because the UPS, post office, FedEx, whatever it was only open for a certain amount of hours and you had to make reservations to pick up your package. I mean, it was a nightmare to pick stuff up. So it took us almost a month to get to the package, but we finally did. And we were so thankful and we whatever. And this person just shat all over us and said, I didn't make one sale off of this. And first of all, nobody asked you to do this. No, and if you were expecting something in return, then it's not a gift. And if you want a marketing package or platform, we can do that too. You just gotta ask. You let us know. So anyway, this person left and they were pissed off. And I just completely obliterated this person online 4.5 years ago. And I brought all the receipts. I brought the shipping receipts, about the communication and emails, the texts, all of it, all of the things that he was writing and saying. Well, anyway, the reason why I reacted that way last night is not because once I found out who it was, I was willing to let sleeping dogs lie and let water under the bridge and all other, idioms and euphemisms. The problem that I had is that he approached my wife. And the way he did it was very passive aggressive and nonchalant, asking her, well, what did you think of my, scent warmer? No,
he said, what did you think of the warmer I sent you? And being Twitter, I have no idea who it is. I don't know the handles on Twitter because no one chats. So I'm thinking, because somebody said they were making me fingerless gloves for my hands. So I was like, I haven't gotten fingerless gloves. Somebody's making them for me because my hands are always cold.
Right, we got to go. So let's wrap this up.
So I'm like, I haven't received it yet. He goes, well, I sent it to you over a year ago.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it clicked.
Yeah, and it clicked for me too. And I basically told the guy to go, F himself.
Yeah.
And not so many words. And the reason why I had a problem is because he's sitting there stalking my wife. No, you don't try to do that. If you have a question, if you have a comment, you get to me. You don't go through my wife. So that's pretty much it. And that's why I wanted to address it. So people were asking questions like, who is this guy? What is he doing? There it is. It's a long, long time ago in a land far, far away. Somebody who got butthurt because, they wanted to have me advertise their Scentsy product, which is a pyramid scheme and a Ponzi scheme, and millions of people do it. And if you think that all of a sudden, just because you're the one unique person, they're going to listen to the Don't Unfriend Me show to go buy your stuff, they're not, because they get hounded at their work, they get they get hounded at their local parks, and they get hounded at the grocery store. And these Scentsy people are merciless stalkers. Every single one of them who sell Scentsy. And there's going to be somebody on here who goes, I sold Scentsy, Matt. I'm not a stalker. Whatever. You get my point. There it is. It's over. Let's watch Dan Bongino just for a little bit. I kind of want to hear the intro and what he said. I know people are interested, and I'm cool with it if you're cool with it, and then we can kind of watch it together. I realize I don't have a video window anymore because I have these new slides, so I'm gonna have to make one. Hold on. Video.
How are voters feeling about Democrats right now?
Yeah, I mean, Democrats in the minds of the American public are low.
Okay. So here it is, on with Haley Coronia. And Dan Bongino is back, looking very dapper, using his RE20. I'm ready to send him my old RE20 black mic, and I wonder if that will make him get me on his show. I think I'm going to send him my RE20 black powder black one, because this gray one, it's horrible. It looks like shit on a set. And if you're going to wear an all black suit, you got to have an all black mic. Here it is. Let's see if we can get this thing fired up. watch this for a few, and then we got a show to do. We've got a very, very busy show. Here it is. Maybe. Come on, Rumble. Don't make a liar out of me, buddy. Rumble, seriously, man. Seriously. We might not be watching any damn Bongino. This keeps up. Let's hope she's still alive. There it is. Okay. All right, here it is. Merry Christmas.
I found this video of a Ukrainian refugee expressing black people. I won't announce.
Can I say something about Haley real quick? When I'm editing video, Liv, you're off center.
Well, I'm in center on the other thing. I think it might be
okay.
That window.
That's okay. Let's just do your best. So there's one thing about Haley. Every time I see her, I look at her, and the first time I look at her, I go, oh, she's so pretty. And then I look again, and I look longer, and then the longer I look, I'm like, no, not. Yeah. Very interesting, very smart, very intelligent, doing a great job, and it's not just about looks. I'm just telling you, the first time I look at her, I'm like, wow. And then the longer I look at it, I don't know. Not so much. Is that rude?
Just yet.
Was that rude? I don't know. I said she looked good when I first. Okay.
He's making himself at home. I love it. He's already getting ready. I've been great.
It's good to see you, man.
It's great to see you, and I was going to say.
Working. Immediately, I can already tell her mic's not working. So the audio guys, when they turned his RE20 on, they turned Olivia's off. Let me show you how this works. Olivia, say something really loud.
Hello.
That's how I know. Now try it.
Hello.
That's how I know. See?
Mm-hmm. Little weird that we were kind of two ships passing in the night where I came on and we were talking about me starting this show way before the FBI job even
Well,
came
I didn't know.
Be.
I mean, I never mentioned that to you because it was not in the, what do they say, the bingo card? Like I never had
no idea, right?
By the way, the president calls though and asks you to serve, the only answer is yes. But I got to tell you, I did feel bad because I knew the Bongino Army. You guys and ladies out there are freaking rock stars. Like I love you to death. You have no idea. And, this experience is very illuminating. Like you see who your real friends are. And you guys are freaking studs. Look at the chat.
I know the chat is blowing.
Break
it's
that
so
sucker.
Fast.
I know. It's not even it's not even on my channel. So wait till our channel comes back. But I felt kind of bad because, and this is how I know Haley's a real rock star and you're really loyal. Like you could have said, hey, I didn't sign up for that. Like I signed up to be part of the Bongino Army. There's not the Haley Army yet. Like we want to. And not only did you stay, but you became a really high level, top level broadcaster. Your show's amazing. I watch it. And it's just, like you said, I think it's just good to be back on the other side.
Good to be back.
Yeah, man. I used to, once in a blue moon, I would just pop by and drive by the studio and I would be envious of you. Look at that chat, man. You guys, I missed you guys so much. You have no idea. I really, really missed you all. So it feels like my extended family. But the show's going great. I hope you didn't mind me barging in early.
Oh, not at all.
I just saw the crazy cat lady thing, and I just had.
You had to take it out.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's not mine. Geep put that up there on my behalf. That's a joke.
Justin, you remember that was from the audience. That was the whole Genie.
Oh yeah.
So
I'm a cat lady, but I'm not crazy.
What do you want to talk about?
I mean,
where do we start?
There's only one question.
Well, I want to start with you getting that call from the president.
Yeah.
And what that was like to kind of know that you had all of this, that you were going to have to give up temporarily. And I'm wondering, when you did the last show, how long did you think it was going to be until you came back? Did you know at all?
We always had planned for the first year. So, it's funny. Like, I got to get to that question. So don't keep that question in your head. Like, what are they? But it just reminded me, when you read the media spin, but you actually see from the inside what's happening. However bad you think the left-wing grifters in the media are, Haley, I promise you they're 10 times worse. The timeline was always for me to do the first year and help the Trump administration with my law enforcement background. Cash is a really, really good lawyer, had DOD experience, but they wanted someone with law enforcement in the experience, in that seat, excuse me. I loved the job. I wanted it. And this president is just an amazing guy. So I'm sitting there in my house. you've heard the story 1,000 times. I know you have. Justin's heard it too. He could like recite this story himself. But I'm sitting in my house. I think it was like a Sunday night. I remember it was 8:20. The only reason I remember it was 8:20 is because I was falling asleep and I looked at my phone and it said Trump. And I thought, wow, this is pretty amazing. Like the boss is calling, you know. I mean, we talk, but not that often.
One
I mean,
second, I gotta
he's a busy
switch,
guy.
folks.
And I thought, what's this about? And, you know, he asked if I wanted to take the job. And I was floored. I was like, of course. I mean, I really hadn't thought anything through.
Right.
You know, it would have been kind of talked about a little bit, but I don't know. We had never, it was just kind of, it just went down really fast, I guess is what I'm getting at.
Is that what you thought the call was about?
No, I had no idea.
Okay,
I had
so
no idea.
total surprise.
So I'm sitting there and I'm, you know, I think I was falling asleep in the chair and I woke up with, you know, groggy voice. You know, groggy voice is the worst, right? And I'm thinking, I hope he doesn't think I'm hungover or something like that. So I'm trying to like, before I answer, I'm trying to like clear my throat.
Wake up.
Wake up, like smack yourself and stuff. And I get on, I'm talking to him. And this is how awesome this guy is. I mean, I tell you, it was the honor of a lifetime to work for him. He is just, the guy is just a get it, like go get the other bad guy's guy. And I'm telling you, man, it's like working for the Lone Ranger. It was awesome. But he told me this story. This is how he is. He's just an amazing guy. He says, so you want to take the job? And I said, yeah, I'll take it. And he said, you know, you're going to give up this successful show and you know, you got your wife at home and everything. Are they ready for this? It was a pretty tough job, but you sure you want it? And I said, yeah. And he said, let me tell you something.
All right. So people are wondering, why are you showing this? Well, because this is Dan Bongino and we like Dan Bongino. And this is his first return. He's answering some things, and we're not going to watch the whole thing. People are asking, is his cancer back? There is no indication that his cancer is back. I have not heard any rumblings of that whatsoever. I do have a couple friends. I will consider friends. I consider Vince Coglianese an acquaintance, but close enough to a friend where we've spent time and know each other fairly well. But there's other people in the loop who do broadcasting at WMAL and at iHeart who work with Dan regularly. I've not heard any rumblings whatsoever of that. I believe Dan had an intention to do this for 1 year. He did it and left. That's it. Do I believe that maybe he had some disillusionment with the job? Okay, maybe. Did he not think it was going to be, maybe thought it was going to be different than it actually was? Sure, that's possible. But I don't know any of this, and nobody else does either. The only reason Dan Bongino left the job at the FBI was because those reasons were Dan Bongino's. And the only ones that he told us was that he was going to go for a year, he was going to make an impact, he was going to do the things he wanted to do, and then he was going to get back to his show. It was never supposed to be a lifetime gig. He had talks about the J6 bomber, he had talks about the Epstein list, and a few other things. And, that's that. Now, people want to go ahead and summarily write a bunch of drama that they have no idea about. They're just speculating. So this is why we're listening, because people have questions. I hope his cancer hasn't returned. We like him very, very much. Mom?
Yeah, I can't get it on my phone just yet.
Okay, just keep
I'm
trying.
waiting for somebody to tag me.
Don't worry about it. So anyway, so that's pretty much it. That's all I know thus far. I will continue to tell you if I hear anything else, and I'm sure Dan will tell us before anyone. But I have not heard anything. He looks healthy. He looks good. We'll continue watching for a few more minutes, and then we got to get busy.
No, when I was president back in the first term, I was the commander in chief, and you're making all these big time military decisions, and you're wiping out, Russian mercs on a Syrian battlefield. So and then 2020 happens, and I was back to doing what I do. I'm running my businesses and making good money and doing all that. But he said, you know what, Dan? It's not the same. And he said, I get it.
Yeah.
Because, he knew it wasn't about the money. It's certainly not about the money for him. I don't even think he takes salary, he donates it. So that was it. And I knew that it was the right thing to do, was a calling. But I'd be stone cold lying in your face if I said, I didn't miss you guys in the audience. And even, even the team, I say it like you guys are second best or something. Andy, who was new, and Justin and Guy, producer Jim, Mike, the whole team. I missed everyone. And, when you're on the inside, it's not about you. It's about the boss. You don't go out there doing your own media appearances. It's not about you. It's about the mission, and it's about running the government. So, It was kind of hard to stay quiet. But I'm not quiet anymore. Loud, obnoxious Dan Bongino taking on the world of grifters, bums, shitheads, and life losers is absolutely back. And
so this is going to be an interesting thing. So it's kind of funny. You guys know Dilly from Meme Team and Cat Turd. Dilly and Cat Turd are synonymous. Dilly has been liking quite a few of the things that I post lately. And I've been, kind of supporting him because I like the Dilly Meme Team quite a bit. I think they do great work. And he's been on my Twitter and liking stuff. So I'm trying to build a relationship with him like I have with other people, like Ryan Weaver and Dom and a few others. But Dan is like calling out the grifters, and it's going to be the Candace Owens people. It's going to be Steve Bannon. It's going to be Mayo Yiannopoulos. It's going to be Tucker Carlson. It's going to be the people who have really shat all over Dan Bongino, and this is going to happen, and they are going to try to paint the picture. But I want you to consider and think about this, and Olivia, you know this too. It is a year ago, we were all so excited for Donald Trump to get in, and Dan Bongino and Kash Patel and you guys excited about Tulsi Gabbard and and Ben Shapiro was still relevant and liked, and Charlie Kirk was on fire. And people were kind of pulling away from Steve Bannon and Alex Jones. And there was just kind of this new level and this new echelon. And then something changed. And what you saw was a shift in the culture, that people saw that Jewish sentiment was waning with younger people. And people like Candace, people like Tucker, people like Megan, Jake Shields, and Nick Fuentes is always, I got to give Nick Fuentes credit. He always went after the Jews. So he was one of the original Jew haters. So was Stu Peters. These guys are just, Nazi jerk-offs. But there was a very large grift in Con Inc. And the podcast bros got on it, and they have now decided that everything that's wrong in America is Jewery. And it's funny because we were playing our game the other night, and I was naming in our bank slots, supposed to be jewelry, and I named it Jewery, and Olivia's like, I don't know if that's acceptable. I'm going to tell Barry. Point being is that Dan is calling it out. I've been calling it out. And I've been calling it out every day religiously. And the thing is that a lot of people on his show weren't calling it out. So Dan's going to come back, and he is going to go after these black pillars who are just completely, just everything that Trump does is bad. They're just as bad as the left. They're propagating Muslim sentiment in this country. They're anti-Jew. And Dan's like, dude, no more. I'm done. Do I think that Dan is back to fill in the role of Charlie Kirk? I think that is Dan's mentality. I don't know. I haven't talked to Dan. I would love to chat with him. But I bet you that he is getting, as a call to serve as a senator, when he tried to do that, a call to serve when he was Secret Service, call to serve when he was a cop, call to serve as FBI a deputy director. This is a call to get back out there and fill this void that these black pillars are trying to fill. I think this is Dan Bongino's mentality. Olivia, your thoughts on this at all? Anything you got?
Well, I never really watched him to begin with. Like, I don't watch any other podcasts, to be completely honest. So I've never been a big watcher. I mean, I know he's a great voice, and the videos that we would watch and comment on never had really any issue. I liked him when he was on Fox. My only question is, what is Haley going to do now that she's not? She's
staying.
Is she? So they're going to co-host.
Yeah, Vince Collinese is going to stay. No, they're not going to co-host. Vince Collinese is going to stay on. Dan didn't have a night show. She'll continue the 7 o'clock hour against us because they're competing against us for sure.
Yeah.
I wish. But that's what will happen. Vince Collinese is going to stay on, which is great news because I love Vince. Vince is a good dude. Like I said, somebody who I've known for a while, and I really, really like him. So Dan will slide in to probably bump Vince's hour to later in the afternoon, 1 o'clock or earlier, and then Dan will fill in his old time slot. I think that's 11 o'clock or something to that effect.
Nice.
So this is good news, and it's good for the network, and I think it's wonderful. I like Haley. I really do. I think she's smart. She's a good eye. She has a good eye for understanding how to call out the BS and present the information quick without dragging it on and on and on. I like that. I like that she is decisive. I like that she has her own personality. And I don't think she's going to be stemmed by Dan Bongino returning. So we're just going to watch this for another minute or two, and then we're going to kick off and get into it, because we have a really busy show tonight.
All right. Looks like Dan's going to do 10 to 12 and Haley's on at 6.
Yeah. Well, Vince Collinese has to be worked in there too. So I would imagine Vince would show up at the 12 o'clock hour right after him. When he was on WMAL, his time slot was 1 to, I think, 2 or 1 to 4. I don't remember. But the point is that they'll work him in, and he'll show up right after Dan, or whatever. By the way, Brendan Dilley is not Cat Turd. What I'm saying is Cat Turd and Brendan Dilley are synonymous with each other. They are very close friends, and they back each other up on X. And my point is that Brendan Dilley is been liking a few of my posts on his Twitter page, and mentioning Cat Turd as well, because they both, are synonymous with each other and backing each other up. That was my point. Here is the rest of this. We're just going to do this for another minute or so.
Just watch what's coming. It's going to be delicious moving forward, because my giving and F's, if it was
Deborah McLaughlin, I believe, just ordered the Freedom shirt, Charlie Kirk signature Freedom shirt that we have on thedumbshow.com. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Deborah. Hope you enjoyed. It's very comfy. I love it. It is a beautifully soft and gorgeous shirt.
I think I gave 0 F's before, but now
negative
it's like
F's.
Now are we into negative? I think we're into a lot of negative F's. Poor Jasmine outside. It's like, she hates when I curse. It's an F.
So wait a second. What time is she going on? 6, 7?
6 to 7.
Okay, I thought she was 7 to 8 or 6 to 8. She's always on when I'm loading the show, so that makes sense. So she's off at 7. That's good news. Thanks, Tommy. Thanks for letting me know.
I didn't. There's that Jasmine don't like when I curse or anything. But now it's like I
drop them sometimes. I'm sorry.
It's a New York thing.
Yeah. Sometimes I have to. I get so passionate about this stuff. I mean, there's crazy stuff going on, and it just comes out.
See, Jasmine, I said F's. I didn't use that actual expletive. See, she's already coming in here. Look I'm reading the chat. Love you, Dano. Love you guys too, man. It was. Who said that? Mad Life. It had to be hard for me to leave. Yeah, it really was. It really was. But guys, and then ladies out there, turn up Dan's mic, says C-Biz, or that's probably me. It's probably
Dan has the worst mic posture I've ever seen.
You have to run out.
Mine is too good. I have my lip gloss on the mic
she's not
itself,
kidding.
so I'm like really close up on it.
See, Haley knows what it's about. See, Liv, because it's just Shure SM7B, which you have to basically eat the microphone. And RE20 is also the same way. Problem is the pop filter on RE20 isn't as good. So you notice Haley's very, very smooth because she has a pop filter on hers, and the RE20 has it embedded. I've got an RE20. They're great mics, but honestly, that is either here nor there. All right, well, we have a show to do. We don't have time for this anymore. Great, Dan Bongino. You got a ton of people watching. Good for you. Good to have you home. Do your job and expose whatever you can. But he has some things to answer for, doesn't he? Mm-hmm. He has to answer about Epstein. He has to answer why he talked about this deep state rot that he made millions off of with his show. And we didn't see one arrest.
Yep.
We didn't see one indictment that truly stuck. He's got some things to answer for, and I don't think that's a bad thing. And I hope somebody does it with a very delicate and prolonged conversation, because you don't need to get in a banter with Dan Bongino. You need to let him answer some questions and say, listen, when you got there, is it all you thought it would be? A lot of cops, they come out of the academy and they just can't wait to hit the street, and they do, and they hate it. They hate it. And once they have to, and it's not the action of doing the job and being a beat cop, it's the paperwork and getting their uniform ready, not realizing that they soak through, sometimes have to change twice in one shift because of they sweat through, and the amount of gear that they have to put on. And it's the monotony of it all that sucks. The action is great, but the downtime is horrible. He very well could have gotten the FBI and just said, this sucks. This is not what I wanted to do. This isn't what I thought it was going to be. Lo and behold, somebody needs to have that conversation with him in a way that doesn't turn him off. And it's asking direct questions that you want answers to, not that you want to hear yourself talk. Fisher donated $2. Love you guys. Thanks for not abandoning Rumble. The small crew here are dedicated. Listen, I don't think it's such a small crew. You know, we had 85 to 100 on every night. That was better than Facebook. I think we'll get back there. I think Rumble was kind of in a state of flux, but we're growing it again. You guys keep sharing it, and YouTube's growing. We know that. We know my Instagram is now up to 12,000 followers. We're starting to see TikTok expand. We just got to get Rumble shared with people, because that's the problem, is that we haven't grown our follower count. I mean, what are we at, Liv? 1,800?
1,830.
It's ridiculous. Like, that's just absolutely just baffles my mind. I have no idea how that's possible on Rumble. So if you guys can help us out, please do. All right. Well, you know, Karen says, how much can Dan really comment on? I can comment a lot. You know, remember, on his show, he talked about the deep state. On his show, he talked about the Epstein files. On his show, he talked about he never talked about the illegal vote, but he did talk about J6. This gives him a chance to, you know, at a high level, explain himself of, listen, guys, I didn't promise that I was going to be the end all be all. I just told you I was going to go in there and do my job to the best of my ability and expose the things and the targets that I really wanted to focus on. Now, he did. And I think the Epstein thing really hurt him. I think instead of you guys going, well, he covered it up, I think he went in there with bells on and he wanted to expose it and realize that there was no there. Realize that a lot of the victims weren't victims. A lot of the victims were people who had collected pornography and child porn, was what Epstein had, and assumed it was blackmail tapes and set up for recording, that there was some sort of, you know, child trafficking going on. And the allegations and the indictments are not as, and the paperwork that we've seen and the release of the things we've seen show that a lot of these people were legal in the state that they were in, or legal in the place that they were, and were willing participants in this and received monies for their involvement in these sexual escapades. Now, if there were people who were harmed who were younger, of course, absolutely. But it sounds like Epstein had a proclivity for young girls, but not 12-year-olds and 6-year-olds and shit like that. Not that sleeping with a 14 or 15 or 16 or 17-year-old is okay, but the understanding from everything we're reading is that he had a fetish for women who looked 17, 16, and 15, but were actually of age. None of this is okay. None of this is cool with me. I'm not making excuses for any of it. My point is, if Bongino wanted to expose a sex trafficking ring and find all this information, and then he got there and realized that he didn't know as much as he thought he knew as a podcaster, he should say that. That would go a long way with healing with the community. There's a lot of people pissed at Bongino right now, and he's going to have to get through that. He will. He's got millions of followers, including me. But there's some things that I think that he got wrong that he should own. Just my personal opinion. Do I think Dan had to sign an NDA? It's not an NDA. He has a clearance that is equivalent to a presidential level clearance as a deputy director. And he is bound by secrecy with the clearance that he held. So that's more important than any NDA. Yes, it's not called an NDA, but yes, it's very similar to an NDA. It's a disclosure agreement, and it's essentially you are aware of the rules and regulations of disseminating confidential, classified, top secret, and SCITS information and the consequences thereof, and the procedures of how you do that, don't do that, and if you anticipate doing that, how you would go about doing that. So he's been briefed on that. He's aware of it, and everyone who holds even a secret clearance is aware of those procedures. So yes, call it an NDA, but he's also, by legal reasons, bound to keep things confidential that are under a classified nature. So he'll figure it out. Okay. Good enough. We're done with that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. So let's get into it. We got a busy show. And the cool thing is that Olivia and I, we love to see so many people on. I told you, Liv, it's been absolutely banging.
Nice. It's awesome.
So it's good to see so many people on, and it's all on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. YouTube's doing great. Twitter's getting killed. So Mel, or anybody else, if you could please share over on Twitter, we'd appreciate it. So first things first, Trump announced some things today that he's doing that are exciting. And I think this moves into the affordability conversation, which is, we know the biggest cost that you will ever have as a young adult is what?
Buying a house.
Buying a house. And also college, but buying a house predominantly. So you found something you wanted to talk about. What is it? And let's talk. Do you want me to play the video first, or you just want to talk about it and then we'll watch it?
Play the whatever is first, and then we can talk about it.
All right. So this is first. This is let's do this. Let's do what he's doing, and then you can read that off.
Okay. So for a very long time, buying and owning a home was considered the pinnacle of the American dream. It was the reward for working hard and doing the right thing. But now, because of the record high inflation caused by Joe Biden and the Democrats in Congress, that American dream is increasingly out of reach for far too many people, especially younger Americans. It is for that reason and much more that I am immediately taking steps to ban large institutional investors from buying more single-family homes, and I will be calling on Congress to codify it. People live in homes, not corporations. I will discuss this topic, including further housing and affordability proposals and more at my speech in, is that DC in 2 weeks?
Yeah. It looks like that. So a little bit late. As we know, corporations have been buying up farm property, residential properties for quite some time now. But he also had a video on this. We'll play that, and then I'm going to show you some of the numbers on the inside. Get Olivia's opinion on this as well, being that we have kids. And, you know, we're affected by this too. And we just had that conversation with the kids at the dinner table last week, and we told them what?
To stay at home as long as possible.
Yeah, and that they were welcome to. They're welcome to, right? We want them to not only stay here as long as possible, but save their money. You have a boyfriend, that's fine. You can't sleep over. You want to go over to their place and sleep over, that's fine. They can't live here. You'll pay rent. You'll pay some of the food bills. But otherwise, mi casa, su casa for as long as you want to be here. And we're fine with that. If my kids want to be with me till 30, I don't care. I had kids to basically be involved in my life until I died. How about you?
Yes.
And they almost killed me several times, so that almost came true. So here's the video of Trump, and then we're going to walk through some of the numbers. Olivia is going to walk you through what they mean, and we'll work on this together here.
In your address last night about housing, are you still considering a national emergency over housing?
I'm looking at it.
What would that look like? What would that mobilize?
You know, there's two thoughts on housing. You have a lot of people have housing that because we have such a strong time and such a strong market, their houses are very valuable. It's a big part of their net worth, their house. I don't want to knock those numbers down because I want them to continue to have a big value for their house. At the same time, I want to make it possible for young people out there and other people to buy housing. In a way, they're at conflict. In other words, you create a lot of housing all of a sudden, and it drives the housing prices down. So I want to take care of the people that have houses that have a value to, to the house that they never thought possible, that have sort of made them wealthy and happy, and especially in their later years. Got to be careful with that. I want to keep them up. At the same time, I want to make it possible for people to go buy houses. Daniel, please.
That's a really big conundrum to be in as homeowners. And we saw our property value increase by 40% in less than 2 years. I mean, we almost doubled our house's net worth. We can afford it to go down a little bit, and I think we're okay with that, right?
Yeah.
Especially for our kids. But the best way around this would be to create single-family homes that are ranch-style homes that aren't 3-story, big monstrosity, 5,000 square foot, but 1,200 to 1,400 square foot starter homes, 1 to 2 bedrooms, and that's the way it's been. TVs have gotten bigger, cars have gotten bigger, houses have gotten bigger, college gets more expensive. So get back to some sensible nature, which wouldn't impact and kind of keep it out of our range of homes and keep them from away from us, right? Put these in more around the cities and the suburbs, but keep it away from the smaller towns. We don't want massive single family homes driving the cost down of our bigger homes that we've purchased and our land. So that's a really delicate balance. Some of the numbers that we were looking at were really, really interesting. I'm just going to take the one on the left. So Blackstone stock at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard was at almost $164 a share. And it absolutely bottomed at $12.45. Trump says he's moving to ban institutional purchase of single-family homes. The stock at that point loses almost $15, then drops down at 1 p.m. Eastern, 15 minutes later, to $146, roughly an $18 billion loss in one day at Blackstone. Ouch. Now, I didn't see where it finished. I don't see if it rallied, but that is a massive, massive drop in wealth. And this will have an effect on stock market. There's many companies that come in and buy this stuff. But it's interesting, this top graphic here, which is share of investors' purchases, talks about large investors and mega investors. And what is that signifying, Libby?
Of how many people, the big investors, mega investors would be like huge, massive companies, like Blackstone. I think big investors would be, you see those billboards or the commercials that pop up on your Facebook feed. We'll buy your home.
Buy your home for cash.
Yeah, we'll buy your home for cash, which those are just the fraud.
J.G. Wentworth.
Oh yeah, we'll tell you a story about that.
Okay.
We got contacted by one of those for in our Texas house.
Yeah.
So that's what that is. The big investors and the major ones.
Yeah. So what it's showing is those large investors and mega investors combined own almost 12% to 15% of all the new houses purchased are corporations. The small investor and medium investor combined, are running about 80%, but that 20% is being bought up by big corporations. This is stifling the housing market and availability and also driving prices up. So when Trump does this allows more houses to be on the market. It's going to drop the overall value of our home and other homes if it's in a competitive range. But what it will do is it's going to allow people to buy. It's going to give them the American dream. And that really is important to me, is I want my kids to have that chance. I'm willing to lose on my house, 2 or 3% of my value in order for, other people to have a chance. I think that's okay with me.
And I think by the time we sell, things are going to hopefully even out from this anyway. But
so this is an interesting one too. This demonstrates the age of first-time home buyers. So give them an idea, 1980. And then 2000.
What is that, 30? So I would say that's mid-20s, 27?
Yeah, 27 years 28. Old in 1980, yeah.
Yeah, and then it's gone up to about 40 in 2025.
Yeah.
So, it's crazy. But, I mean, we bought our first home. I mean, it used to be you got married and you moved into a house. You bought a house right after you got married, had kids, blah, 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 blah. And then it was you got married, lived in apartments, bought a house a few years later, had kids. We'd been together for 11 years before we bought our first home. Hayden was 1 when we moved in. Was it that
long?
It was 2011.
Yeah, because we did it in New Mexico.
It was in New Mexico, and our first house was 1,948 square feet. It was a cute, I love that house.
Oh, I love that house. Like, that's what I want to live in when we downsize.
It was a cute little starter house, 4-bedroom, 2-story, 2-car garage. It was beautiful. And our mortgage was like $1,400 a month, which at the time, coming from an apartment, we're like, it's a lot of money. Now I look at it and going, if I could only have that mortgage payment again, I would celebrate. But every time we've purchased, of course, our house has gotten a little bit bigger because the kids have gotten more stuff. And it's amazing how much crap you can accumulate as a family of 4
that's why we don't move.
Years.
I mean, because it's like our first move was like $2,000. Our second move was probably $5,000. Our third move was like $20,000. And our last move was like $29,000 just to move.
And I know a lot of it has to do with the state to state, and because this was our farthest move.
This was a huge move. This was East Coast almost to almost West
Houston
Coast.
To East Coast, but so as far as those, we'll buy your home for cash. They just go, and anyone that drops the price of their home, they just go and try and snatch it. Well, our home in Texas, we put on the market, I think, for $425,000.
Oh, what a great house!
It was beautiful.
That house is worth $750,000 now. I mean, it is. That house was the shit.
Loved it. The pool, it was awesome. So I think we put on the market for $425,000. because we are bad luck with selling homes. It always takes 4.5 months to get an offer on our house. I don't know why, but of course we slowly dropped the price. After our first drop, I think we dropped it to $415, if I'm not mistaken. Immediately they came and swooped in and contacted us. We'll buy your home for $245,000. I'm like, go take a flying leap off a long cliff and never come back. I mean, and we actually, the people that would put in offers, we actually had some guy who offered us like $250,000, and our response to him was no, but not only hell no, but hell no. I don't know. People are insane when it comes to houses, but yeah.
Yeah. Matt Stedham says Bongino is back. Most assuredly. He came back tonight on Haley's show. He was on there at 6 o'clock, and we had it on just for a few minutes, and you can go back and replay it. It's still streaming right now. Donations, folks, let's not forget, I know this new format is kind of fast and rapid pace, but we have to keep the lights on, and we do that by donations. You go to thedumbshow.com/donate. You like our show. We're not sponsored by anybody. We moved from sponsors. We get advertisement dollars from Facebook, but really everything you see, our whole entire studio was paid for by our listeners. It's an incredible honor, and we can't thank you guys enough. If you like the show and you want to help out, go to thedumbshow.com/donate. It doesn't matter, $1, $10, $100, $1,000, whatever you want to do. We've had it all, and we certainly appreciate it. Charity Lamb gets us started tonight at $10. Charity, we love you. Thank you so much. So anyway, this is obviously a good start, and now the question is how do you go ahead and ensure that these companies don't have a chance to buy, because you really can't do that. I think what's going to happen is that there's going to have to be maybe a local government or state government offer before a big corporation can come in, so it stays within the state proxy. That would be great. Like, I'm fine with that. Like, I would rather have the government, the state government, own the property and sell it to the constituents, so they're not price hiking and gouging people. But then that's going to take some oversight too. So there might have to be a commission created for this. Whatever it is, it's going to take people who are a lot smarter than me. Amy Robinson's one of them. Go get Amy. She's great at real estate. She could figure this out. But there has to be a processes on all of that. All right. So anything else in that, Liv, so we can move on, because we got so much to do.
That was good.
Minnesota fraud. This is an interesting one. So this is Representative
Chuck Peterson. Don't forget to donate to the Dumb Show. Thanks so much, Chuck. Appreciate
Thank you,
it.
Chuck. Chuck is one of the people who helped us also, along with so many other people, 67 different people to get this studio. And Chuck always tries to remind people to donate. So we would appreciate it. The Minnesota fraud. Representative Luna had something to say. She had a chance to hear about the fraud. Listen to this, and then we're going to show you a video where it's people who are going into daycare centers in Minnesota and harassing people. And this shit's got to stop. Nick Shirley did this, and now people see dollar signs, and now everybody's going out there with a camera for clicks. And this is the problem with citizen journalists, is people don't have discretion anymore. Here is the video first of Representative.
Chair recognizes Ms. Luna.
Thank you, Chairman Comer. Honorable Robbins, based on your record before your committee, when did Governor Walz first become aware of widespread fraud in Minnesota social service programs?
I would assume that he has been aware of it since he ran for office for governor in 2018.
By 2017, DHS investigators warned CCAP fraud could exceed 50%. What was that information elevated to the governor's office?
Yes, there was an OLA report.
Thank you, ma'am. By 2020, state officials knew feeding our future invoices were fraudulent. We know that payments continued to the AG's knowledge. Did they continue to the governor's knowledge as well?
Yes.
Attorney General Ellison agreed on tape to fight Minnesota's own Department of Human and Health Services in exchange for Somali political and financial support. In your personal opinion, do you believe it is a possibility that Governor Walz also made that personal deal, or that he at least knew about the Attorney General's agreement?
I don't know.
Okay. I don't want to rehash what you guys have spent hours answering. We know that there's a big issue with the fraud in Minnesota. So on a number of things, I'd first like to point out, thank you for being here today, but because of your testimony and because of some of the evidence that we've seen brought forward, as well as I'm sure the fact that this committee, I assume, at Chairman Comer's direction, will be soon subpoenaing AG Ellison, I would like to make criminal referrals regarding Governor Walz as well as AG Ellison. As you know, U.S. Code 371 and U.S. Code 2, which deals with criminalized conspiracies to defraud the United States and establishes liability for individuals who knowingly aid or abet the commission of federal offense, includes willful blindness or deliberate inaction where duties to act exist. So I will be referring them later on today.
Chair recognized. So the long and short of that is Representative Luna is going to be Ellison and Walz. She's going to be referring them for essentially an investigation. It's a referral, a criminal referral that she would make to the Department of Justice to investigate and then to ultimately possibly refer them for investigation, but then indictment. So what would happen? An investigation would take place, and if there were charges that needed to be filed, then the attorneys general would go ahead and file those, and the state's attorney and the state's attorney general would also file those charges. And they could be a multitude of federal and state level charges against Tim Walz and Ellison. This is probably why he is not rerunning for re-election.
Yeah.
He talks a little bit about it in a video that I'm going to show you, but not really important to show you what Walz says, because he says, of course, I'm not leaving over my dead body. I'm not going, but he's not running for re-election. So his dead body really means handcuffs or an indictment, and then he is going to be removed, impeached, and then tried. If anything happens. Now, my years of experience has made me a little bit
weary.
Yeah. Little black-pilled, but I imagine once he runs for the hills by not running for governor, they'll leave him alone, just like they did with Hillary Clinton, just like they did with Biden, just like they did with Trump for the first year. And then once they got the sniffles and the sniffling of him running again is when all the indictments started and all the charges started coming out from the woodwork. So I think this is what we can see, is that anyone that doesn't leave willingly will be forcibly removed, but we'll have to see what happens. Yes, I've heard the same thing. Island Omar, Amy Klobuchar, local city council. A lot. I showed this on the show. A lot of these daycares were donating to Act Blue. Now, whether that means that this money is coming in and then a certain portion of it is being fed to Democrats, well, you have to prove that. But it certainly looks fishy that a bunch of Somalian-run daycares, which have embezzled $8 billion out of the, I don't know, I think the $13 billion overall budget, and $8 billion of it is fraud. I think it's weird that a lot of the Democrats are getting kickbacks, don't you?
Yeah, just slightly.
So here is the issue with this. Go ahead.
This was Mike Roch from via snail mail, 1234. We get his check every week.
Thank you so much. And folks, yes, we're refreshing Goal. I don't know what's going on. The Goal's being weird today. So it's just going to, I don't know why this one is not refreshing now. Hold on. I don't know. It's being weird, baby. There it goes. No. It was working a minute ago.
It was working a minute ago.
Let me see if I can get this thing going on.
I don't know.
I don't want to take too much time on it. There it is.
There it is. Weird. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, I'm working on it. Okay. Joanne Townsend, $10. Thank you, Joanne. Appreciate it. Brings up to $82.34. Thank you, Matt and Olivia. Thank you, Joanne. So first of all, I also want to say it's so great to see so many people on here. We have a shit ton of people on right now. And a lot of them are from Facebook. 100,
awesome.
120 plus. It's really nice to see.
Maybe the blue check mark is starting to pay off a little bit.
God, I hope so. So, folks, sorry, we don't have producers and writers. We do this ourselves. So we thank you for that. It's a little bit of a homegrown mom and pop restaurant outlet here, but we do okay. So here is one of the problems that I have with these daycare. It is the people who are going, the citizen journalists now who are coming out of the woodwork. I want you to understand that not every single daycare in Minnesota is corrupt. I understand that 80% of the people who have applied for welfare and benefits in Minnesota, happen to be from Somali descent. I understand that a lot of this crime, a lot of this embezzlement, a lot of this fraud is tied to Somalians. But understand this is that people are innocent until proven guilty. And if you are going and asking questions on private property where kids are at with no trespassing signs, they're not required to serve you. And if you start recording and coming with a camera, there is privacy laws in daycares, and you can't do some of these things. And they have a right to remove you from the building if you forcibly try to enter. Here's an example of that, and this stuff is going too far. Here it is.
Get back! Get back! Get back!
Don't touch me! Don't touch me!
Get back!
Don't touch me! Don't touch me!
Get back! Get back! Get back!
Holy shit, he just pushed me. I'm
And-
calling the police.
Wait. Don't call the
Did you
police.
see that?
Yeah. All right. So, the heck, what just happened?
He just freaking pushed me. I just walked in there and he just started pushing me and screaming, "Get back." I'm calling the police.
As you can see, folks, all we did was go in. We were going to ask some questions. And we were attacked here at Jubba Daycare, 614-269-7042, right here in Columbus. All we did was walk in the door. You saw the man come out. He grabbed a hold of Mehek, tried pushing her. And that's how fast things happen. That's how screwed up this place is right now, is these people are all about being violent. We didn't do anything wrong. It's a business. It's right here.
Get back! Get back! Get back!
Don't touch me! Don't touch me!
Get back!
Don't touch me! Don't touch me!
Get back! Get back!
Listen, is the guy all fired up and pissed off? Yeah. Is he totally out of sorts? Yeah. But here's the thing: people are getting death threats over this shit, and I'm not here to defend those people, in any way, shape, or form, because if there's fraud and they're embezzling money and all these other things, then absolutely hold them accountable. But that's not your job. And this whole, I'm just asking questions. No, you're trespassing.
Mm-hmm.
You're not there to have a child. You're not interested in their business. You're recording. You're walking in, and then you play victim. You weren't attacked. You were told, get back. You were on private property. You decided not to, and he moved you out of the way.
See, the thing people don't seem to understand is when it comes to children, especially young children, but really any minor children, they are in the daycare's hands after their parents drop them off. And it is the daycare's responsibility to make sure that they are safe and that they are taken care of. And if somebody comes in with a camera and starts recording them, and then their kid's face gets out there on camera into everywhere on the internet, that the daycare can be held liable and sued for that. Because even with our kids, they're older, but we have to sign releases every single year. Every single year. They just can't have the same release from the previous year. We have to go back. I have to sign so many papers, and I have to have permission for their pictures to be in the yearbook. I have to have permission for their pictures to be in the weekly newsletter, to be on the school website. Any time that their name or face is going to be public outside of the school, I have to give them permission. Yeah. And if I don't, and I say no, and their face happens to appear on something, I can sue the school. And that's how it is with daycare as well. And so they had every right to get them out of that building. I mean, when I worked at the daycare, we had somebody that brought a camera onto our property. It was just in the parking lot, and we called the cops on them. They can't be anywhere near our property. So that daycare had every right to get them out of there. And they did nothing wrong.
Yeah. I just wanted to chime in. We're going to shift one thing, but I do want to do one thing that I forgot to tell you. You guys, the new dumb jacket, we did not do our donations last Friday. They will be this Friday. And I also wanted to update the logo. My manufacturer reached out to me, and we had to make a change to the front of the jacket. We couldn't have the dumb show in the stars. It was too small.
Too small.
So we just put the in the show with the stars remaining, and we thought it looked really good. And that is what the logo will look like. It actually looks pretty damn cool. I actually like it better.
Mm-hmm.
So FYI, that jacket is, and you can do either jacket. You can do the $25 donation for the new jacket, which is awesome. It's a collegiate jacket, comes in 3 different colors, comes in a navy, black, and then a light gray. Or you can do the old Dumb Nation jacket too if you wanted to still go for that. So both jackets will be up for grabs. That'll be this Friday. $25 gets you into that drawing. We gave away 5 jackets at the back half of the year. We collected almost $5,000 in donations. Incredible demand for that thing. So make sure you guys are on Friday night for that. Here's the last part of this that I just wanted to jump into. Whoops. You put it in right when I switched the thing.
I did know you were going to switch. It was, sorry.
Oh, Livy.
I know. It was Thomas Austin working for politicians. The Lord detests lying lips, but he delights in people who are trustworthy. Proverbs 12:22. Thank you, Thomas. Appreciate it. Always like the nightly Bible verse.
I got to try to find it now. You really screwed me up, woman.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
You gotta hold off on that, babe.
Okay.
You gotta.
I didn't know you were switching to another video.
But when I say I'm switching, just hold it a second. I can't get these donations to sync tonight. I don't know what's going on.
I wonder if they have to be synced to every single new picture or video.
No, that's not it. But it is acting weird for sure, and I can't get it to work, which is really frustrating because people are looking to see what it is. So what I'm going to have to do is go back here and do this, and then this is screwed up now.
Sorry.
It's okay. I just got to fix these things that you break, Liv, all the time.
I break all technology. I'm just within the vicinity and it breaks.
All right, so while I fix this, you get to read this. Go ahead. So this was put out by the state of Minnesota. Not that we should listen to these guys in any way, shape, or form, but we're going to do it anyway. Liv, go ahead.
You're going to have to make, I can't see anything. I can read the word subject. That is about it.
Liv, just read it.
The Ohio Department of Children and Youth is responsible for ensuring that federal and state funding designated for child care services are utilized for eligible families and services through program integrity reviews outlined in a bunch of numbers of Ohio Administrative Code. All eligible child care providers who choose to participate in the publicly funded child care program must comply with all state and federal requirements, as well as any program integrity reviews. Additionally, providers are required to comply with all requirements outlined in the signed provider agreement for early care and education services, which states providers must cooperate and participate in reviews.
Okay. So what it's basically trying to say is that these were all at one point or another the process for these daycare centers. Now it looks like they're going to enforce them. Go figure. That it sounds like they weren't, because these have went out
Chair
to
recognizes Ms. Luda.
Sorry.
Thank you, Chairman Comer.
Oh, you screwed me up so bad, Liv.
I'm so sorry.
So essentially that's what the state of Minnesota is doing now to all these daycare providers. And this is the position that they are trying to put the shit in the proverbial horse, so to speak. This is forever ruined. I don't know what we're going to do now because it's fragged. So we're just going to have to keep going back to this one, which is working and the rest aren't. So if you want to know the goal, folks, you'll see it on this screen, and we switch in between the videos and we'll try to keep talking about it. It's okay. You didn't know, but you do have a tendency when I play videos to do this. So you got to get the rhythm down. All right. You're doing a great job. You have to do a show, and you have to comment, and you have to control the monies. You're doing a wonderful job. I have
to be a mom. Hayden's texting me right now.
Oh, is she okay?
She's not feeling too great.
Yeah, I know. I heard. All right. So also today, Pete Hegseth went after, I think he's sick and tired of this, and he should. As the Secretary of War, we're doing an amazing job. And the United States is really killing it right now, literally and figuratively, when it comes to executing military operations in the geopolitical space. Hegseth was having enough, and he went after CNN today, and Rubio kind of step back. And I love Hexeth for doing this. This is a fantastic segment. Watch this. Olivia and I will comment on the back end.
Emphasize that question from CNN. The question's never asked how much does it cost when they're in the Mediterranean or the Red Sea or the Indian Ocean or the Pacific. But now that they're in our hemisphere on a counter-cartel mission or ensuring that an indicted individual comes to justice, now you're asking the question of cost. It's a disingenuous question to begin with. You're trying to find any angle possible to undermine the success of one of the most historic military missions the world has ever seen. The level of sophistication that Senate just was briefed on and the House was briefed on, a classified level, is something only the United States of America can accomplish. The world is taking notice of that. Certainly Venezuela is taking notice of that. And it continues because 2 oil tankers, 2 overnight, were seized by the United States of America, stateless or sanctioned, because the oil blockade, the quarantine of oil out of unsanctioned or sanctioned or stateless vessels continues. That leverage will continue, as Secretary Rubio outlined. So our military is prepared to continue this. As he said, the president, when he speaks, he means it. He's not messing around. We are an administration of action to advance our interests, and that is on full display. We're happy to brief the House.
Listen, if this was Reagan's administration, even if this was Clinton's administration, nobody would be saying anything. This is the way it used to be. If you cross the United States, you got slapped. That's it. We're back to it. And Democrats don't know what to do. I'm going to show you some numbers at the end of this show, which is going to blow your mind when it comes to Democrats and their popularity rating right now. It is devastating. As far as people talking about the shooting today of ICE, I'm going to go over the whole thing. I'm going to break it down and hold your opinions till then, because I have a feeling that if you're one of the knuckleheads, go figure, it's always the same guy who wants to argue with everyone in chat. You're wrong. You don't know what you're talking about. Once again, you keep questioning things as a civilian when you have no fucking clue from a military or from a criminal standpoint how to do the job. Maybe you should stop commenting on military operations with military people who do this for a living or have done some sort of police work in their life, because the problem is that you just look ignorant. You can have a different opinion, but you don't get to have different facts. And for someone to say, "Oh, well, they were driving away," that's not what happened. And you're just being completely disingenuous. We're going to break it down for you in just a little bit. So hang with us, even though Olivia is playing mom right now. Do you need to jump off?
No, I'm just talking to her real quick.
I know, but it's not real quick. It's been 10 minutes. So do you need to jump off? It's okay. No. You need to jump off. Sweetie.
No, if she texts me and says she needs something, I will. And then
okay. Anything on Hexeth?
I think it's great. I've always liked Pete Hexeth, especially when he was on Fox News. I always thought he was great. Yeah, he's good looking. I'm not going to deny that. He's good looking. He's nice to look at. He's not you.
That's true. Trust me, Pete. Listen, I would sleep with Pete Hexeth if the mood was right.
Hair.
He's got some good looking hair. He does. He has good looking. What's funny is I have wavy hair. It doesn't play well with me because I have a big head. Like when I'm like Bednar with Bednar and I have the same head. So we don't look good with long hair. It's just, it doesn't work. So I agree. I think the United States is doing exactly what the United States should do. You notice how they're not talking about blowing up boats anymore.
Of course they're not.
It's just what they do.
Blowing up the fishermen?
Yeah,
going out for a weekend excursion.
Pleasure cruise at 65 miles an hour over fishing.
Eel-infested waters.
Eel-infested waters off the coast of Gilder. Inconceivable. I keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means. Marjorie Taylor Greene. Gosh, I love bringing this up. Oh, I love bringing this up.
Okay, I'm going to put one in.
You don't have to tell me. Just do it when I'm not hitting. See, when my hand's on the mouse, you know you're in trouble.
Okay.
Not that mouse. When I click the button, it could be trouble or it could be good. Depends on the situation and if people are watching. Isaac Castillo donated $20. Every little bit helps. It does, brother. Every single time it helps. Thank you. Marjorie Taylor Greene has made the transformation process is complete to the dark side. I feel the hate flow through you. Good. Strike your father down and make the transformation process complete.
Kat and I are having a staring contest. She's
just
staring at me. She's just staring.
She's like, "What do you want, Yeti?"
She's looking into my soul right now. Apparently I won.
No, Weedy, you just have your head up your ass. So we watched the same video. You just You basically go, what happened? And now I'm going to take the opposite opinion. I'm going to be argumentative, and I'm going to go ahead and go in the Don't Unfriend Me show, and I'm going to go ahead and say the opposite just to infuriate people. And it's just a matter of time before I get sick of you and just ban you. So this might be tonight.
Blessed serving the district that I served.
So blessed. Oh, Marjorie Taylor Greene, multimillionaire blessed.
And
why don't you just stay there?
Well, I think when it comes down to the president that I helped get elected, the party that I donated to.
Wrong. So convincing. You don't think I'll ban you? Okay, you're banned.
And represented, and having the president turn on me and calling me a traitor for standing with women who were raped as teenagers, and then having no one in the party stand up for me. That was a high bar, but really when it came down to death threats, which I had become used to, but when they came in on my son, because...
See, Weedy, you got banned. I think I was right, you were wrong. So I win. Nana Nana Boo Boo, stick your head in doo-doo. Everything's better on me, and now you're covered in doo-doo. Dan Nunn in the house. Welcome, buddy. Hope you're feeling well. Dude, if you need me to fill in for your show, let me know. I'll be happy to do it. I'll work some extra hours. Just tell me what I need to do, Bubba.
Of the president's words. It's too much.
Right.
So
I get it.
And I believe in term limits.
Yeah.
Self-imposed. I believe in one and done. Liv, is Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's now going to become a Democrat, right? Or at least a middle of the road. I think she's going to take the new Liz Cheney approach and basically go on all these shows and be a pundit and make money because nobody wants to listen to her as a Republican. So therefore, she gets to come into these Democrat shows and make money off Trump for 3 years by basically bashing Trump. What do you think?
I think she's going the Jen Psaki route and she's trying to get her own show.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
That's what I think she's doing. And she knows Fox News won't hire her.
Real Texas Conservative. Hey, you too. Happy Wednesday. What's up, brother? I've been watching your stuff. Your show, your page is doing great, man. Keep it up.
Thank you.
I agree with you. I think Fox News doesn't want her. And the only reason CNN and others do is because she's going to speak ill of Trump. The same reason they wanted Megyn Kelly and the other hot one, which used to be on the morning show on Fox, whatever her face was.
The cat wants me. It's mom all around. Hayden wants me. Cat wants me.
I want you. I want you to. We're live.
We're live. Can't do that right now.
Can't do that right now. So anyway, yes, the algorithm is working tonight. We have a shit ton of people on Facebook, and it's great to see finally to be able to crack that code. I think the new format has something to do with it, folks. I really do. It also keeps people on and engaged. So with no further ado, listen, Marjorie Taylor Greene she's not a traitor. She was never a Trumper. She was an opportunist. And that's the way she was. I told you this 3 years ago when Kevin McCarthy was ousted as speaker and she voted for him. And I dug into her FEC filings and she had over $175,000 along with Lauren Boebert, who did not vote to oust Speaker McCarthy. And Marjorie Taylor Greene voted with whom? With Kevin McCarthy and voted against the Freedom Caucus. So everyone knows. Now you do, because I've been saying it. People called me a traitor and said I was a rhino because I told you Marjorie Taylor Greene was full of shit. Listen, folks, there's only so many days that I can be right and where you got to say, you know what? Let's just listen to Matt, okay? Or you could be like Weedy and constantly argue with everything I say and just get banned because I'm sick of I'll never reach you. I'll never make you happy. So I want to help. I'm going to self-select. I'm going to help you go find another show that'll suit you better, who will agree with everything you say. I'm not that guy. I don't carry the party line. I tell you what I feel with fact and logical deduction, and if it's emotional or it's supposition, I let you know so you don't bet the farm on it. Moving on to next. This is a big one. You talked about vaccines with kids. I know this is a huge topic for you. Why don't you go into what this is and why this is such a big concern for you?
So the CDC has now taken what used to be 17 different vaccinations, and that's just the vaccination. Some of these vaccinations need 2, 3, 4 doses. So we're talking, I think it's 87 total shots that a child will get in their lifetime. That is required by the CDC for them to go to school. A couple of them are optional, but most of them are required. They're now taking it down from 17 vaccines to 11, which takes it down to 30 total shots that the kids need. Because some of these vaccines are absolutely ridiculous. And why kids need them, I don't know. So we'll watch the video and I'll go into a little more detail.
And to reduce its schedule of the number of recommended vaccines to children. And there was 17 on the list, now it's 11. Some of the vaccines and immunizations that are no longer universally recommended include like the RSV, flu, and COVID, as well as hepatitis and meningococcal vaccines. Explain why these have been cut and why people should not be alarmed.
Listen, I particularly like it when you touch my meningococcal. I'm just letting you know.
This is all about choice. If you love your kids, you want to kick the tires, make sure the car seat fits right, make sure the kid's correctly buckled in. So we're asking the healthcare system to do the same thing. And as we do that, we're alarmed by the fact that a lot of parents no longer trust the vaccine schedule. Too many shots, too many illnesses that you've never heard of that you're being asked to protect your child against. So the president insisted we look overseas. We have a consensus now of advanced developed countries who have sort of all come together around this, 11 major diseases you want to protect against. So we care more about measles and polio from ailments you've never heard of. Not all illnesses are equally dangerous. Not all matter as much to you. We want you to focus on this core group of vaccines. Get those vaccines. The other ones you should talk to with your doctor. You're welcome to get them. You're allowed to get them. We will pay for it no matter what. My job is to make sure these are covered. You will have access.
The CDC's decision to reduce its schedule of the number of recommended vaccines to children. And there was 17 on the list, now it's 11. Some of the vaccines and immunizations that are no longer universally recommended include like the RSV, flu, and COVID.
So repeating a little bit on that, I'm sorry, I'm trying to take care of this damn broken thing that Olivia broke on me.
I know I broke.
It's all right. So overall, give me the skinny on this.
So our kids, being the ages that they are, have gotten all the required vaccinations. Now, there are a handful that are optional, one being the flu. Our kids have never gotten the flu shot. Another being COVID. And a big one is HPV that anyone age 11 or older can get. And we've opted against it. But how healthcare providers is they want you to get that shot. So when Ethan had to get a shot.
Is it the healthcare provider that wants it, or is it the pharmaceutical company that wants it?
It's probably the pharmaceutical. I'm going to
assume. So let me guess, is that the HPV vaccine solves the HPV gene, which is a dormant a dormant virus, which is sexually transmitted or vaginally transmitted from mother. Mm-hmm. What they probably, this is the assumption, is that it's better to do the vaccine and have an increase of defects or late stage autism or whatever it would be, because it saves them money from having the insurance companies from having to serve people with these cervical cancers that take place. So the risk to the kids is worth it for them to save money. That's the only reason why they would be forcing it down people's throats, right?
Yeah, I mean, every year, flu shot. Nope. I've never had a flu shot. I don't want one. The shots they tried to get me to take when I was pregnant with both kids. Nope, don't need them. I'm totally against that.
Sorry, there's questions too. So let's just slow it down. There's the reason why they want males to get it is why?
Because males can get HPV as well.
Yeah.
And I mean, HPV is the most people have HPV and don't even
Should
know.
we be really honest here and just talk about this?
I have HPV.
And she got it from me.
So
I got it. I carried it. What we believe is my father carried it, gave it to my mom. And then when I was born, my brother, sister, and I got it as well. And then unfortunately, without knowing it at the time, I gave it to Olivia.
So no idea.
Before, help people understand that I don't have walking herpes here.
No. So this is HPV. It doesn't come up in the annual female exam. Nothing. did not know I had it until I had an abnormal pap and they found I had precancerous cells in my cervix. And they found out that was from HPV. So I am in like the top 2% of people who have HPV that can turn into cancer. So we did, they had to take out part of my cervix, and that was a whole fun experience that I don't need to go into. And after 5 years of every 3 to 6 month visits, I'm completely clear and I've never looked back. And that one was, Ethan was 17 months old. So it has been 11 years. So
now the doctors like to say that was them, but I believe my penis has healing properties.
Yeah. So even with that risk of possibly the kids getting it passed down from me, I'm still not willing to give that to him because that is not something that they need. But when Ethan needed a vaccine to enter the 7th grade, and I can't remember what shot it was, I went to the health department because we didn't have insurance. So, and they're giving them away for free. So I went in and I'm like, I just need this shot. They came back and they're like, he's getting 3 vaccines today. And I said, he's getting what? I'm like, he's getting 1. And they're like, COVID. I'm like, no. This shot, which is the one he needed, and HPV. And I said, no to COVID, no to HPV, and give him this one that he needs to get to school. And they're like, okay, on the COVID, but he needs HPV. And I said, no, he doesn't. Yes, he does. It's required. I said, no, it's not required. 5 minutes back and forth of her saying it is absolutely required. He has to have it. Me looking up the email and showing her that it is not required. I'm like, by the school, it's telling me this is an optional vaccine. I'm like, if you tell me one more time that this is a required shot and a required vaccine, I said, we're going to have some issues here. I was like, so either A, you get your crap together and get me the one vaccine that my son needs, or B, we're going to have issues and I'm going to be talking to your supervisor.
Yeah.
I'm done. And
she Karen'd it up, man. I want to talk to your supervisor.
And here's the thing. Ethan, of course, was in the room, and 2 of the kids I nanny for had to go with us that day because I couldn't get off, and they were in the room with me. And I was like, oh, no, this is not happening. So she came back in. I made sure there was only one needle, and I made sure, and I signed it. But yeah, she pushed me. She wanted me to get it. I'm amazed she didn't push more for COVID.
And these people are horrible. Like when the whole CPS thing happened with the kids, you guys go back and watch those episodes. Yeah. It was insanity. Those doctors, the ones specifically that treated us this way, and continue to act this way, were the ones that treated me like I was a leper. And we went in to get diagnosed for dermatographia, myself, my kids, because when Ethan got his spanking, I mean, he got red welts on his butt, and this spanking was not. This was he didn't have his pants down. I mean, he had his pants on with his underwear on, and like no. But it got really bright red. But they were gone an hour later, and when CPS took the photographs, there was nothing on his butt. Yes, they did it naked in a room alone with my son, with no supervision, without our consent. I mean, that whole case is really interesting. But anyway, the point is that doctor, we went to go show that I had dermatographia, and they were writing on my kid. They were cursive writing their names, and it was red, and they're like, no, they don't have it. And we're like, how? Dermatographia, it means you can write on somebody's skin with not even a scratch, with just rubbing or contact with any substance, a fingernail or even a finger. It's right there. So we had to go to another doctor. They didn't want us there anymore. And the doctor's like, 2 seconds. She's like, your kids have this. They have low grade. You have high grade. This is true. But this is what these doctors do. And if you don't listen to them, they castigate you out of their office and fire your ass. So we can't spend too much more time on this, but go ahead and...
One more thing. A friend of mine, ironically, she took her kids to the same pediatrician that we took our kids to. She opted for, her older daughter had all the vaccines, but for when her second child came, she was doing research into it. And one of the vaccines they try to give you in the hospital when the baby is a newborn is Hep B. And Hep B is needles and sexually transmitted diseases. No newborn's going to get it. So she opted not to get some of these vaccines. and the doctor's office kicked them out, and they no longer can go there. This is how bad doctors' offices have gotten.
So here's the last part of this video, which will kind of sum it all up and start to move forward, folks. But we got to keep shifting and moving because we've got a lot of topics to get to, and we have the big one, which is the shooting, which we want to, which unfortunately Wheaty's going to miss, and I'm sure he's going to be very, very sad. He's already made up his mind. 123.44 to goal, folks. We have about 40 minutes left in the show, and I want to make sure that we're moving towards that. We always want to try to overdrive. 300 is like the bare minimum we try to get. We always appreciate overdriving. Hopefully you guys like the new content. See how many hours we're putting into getting this show ready for you, and see the quality that we've increased it to. So we appreciate that you appreciate that. Here is the second video of vaccines, and we're going to move on to Representative Sean Scott from Washington State.
Under the new guidelines, it will now recommend children receive 11 vaccines rather than the current list of 17. Putting in line with the country of Denmark. The still recommended vaccines include the MMR shot. HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said, quote, "This decision protects children, respects families, and rebuilds trust in public health." That just in. John?
Interesting. We'll break that down a little further in the days ahead. Meantime, violent unrest breaking out across Iran over the last week. At least 16 people killed in protests.
Iran is another conversation. 2 cities and the state police are starting to join, and you're seeing that the Republican Guard is being pushed out and IRGC guards are being pushed out of these towns. This is an interesting thing and a development. I don't want regime change. I want an overthrow of the Iranian government. I want the clerics, the Shah, the Ayatollah out. And I want the IRGC to be essentially beheaded at the generals level. That's where the Jews in the United States can help kill the generals and then let the people free themselves. Moving on.
Can I make one comment on that?
Sure, go.
A lot of people don't realize, I know us older people do, realize what Iran used to be. And I was telling the kids this weekend, because Ethan and I were talking about it, and Hayden came in the room and asked questions. And I said, back in the 70s, I'm like, it was like a Western society. I'm like, girls were wearing short skirts. I mean, it was like living in America. I mean, I'm sure there were some differences.
They had Elvis.
But I mean, I've seen pictures of it. It looks like a street in America in the 70s.
Chevys
and Hayden's like, no. I'm like, yes. And she's like, no, it's always been like this. And I said, no. She looked it up and she's like, oh, it does look like Western society. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, this is what happened when certain governments take over and do what they do. So, but apparently they're not teaching that in schools, because she had no idea.
Facebook doesn't like us talking about anything to do with long pokey things and certain fluid inside of them. They like our numbers tanked. This is what happens. You can watch it literally when we talk about the things that they don't want us to talk about. They stifle our live. It's insane when you do it. Moving on. This is Representative Sean Scott from Washington. He was on a podcast and he was asked, please tell me essentially where communism and socialists exist that actually is doing good things. This is what people in Washington, in Oregon, in Minnesota, and New York actually think. This is the epidemic of communist socialist behavior coming into our society. This guy actually believes that Cuba's medical system is more effective than the United States. This is a ridiculous notion, considering that most of their practices are from 1960 and 1970. Modern day equipment, modern day infrastructure, chemically treating certain diseases or manufacturing certain type of equipment is all is not taking place in Cuba. This is a stupid comment, but here it is.
Example of socialism you think working well somewhere.
A good example of socialism working well somewhere, this is a really, really cool question. I think of Cuba in particular, very, very high literacy rate, number one. Number two, extremely strong commitment to public health. So that's one example that I can think of that would resonate with pretty much anybody in our state who cares about education or healthcare. Would you disagree with that?
People flee on makeshift rafts and die in the ocean to flee Cuba for the United States.
Yeah, and I think that is something that absolutely we have to be sensitive to, but you asked me about institutions that are working really, really well.
I asked you about places socialism is working, and you chose a country that people will risk their lives to flee from to this country. There's a reason for that, Sean.
There was a revolution in Cuba, that is correct.
They still do it to this day.
Right.
They show up on the beaches of Miami.
Right.
Because they would rather be here and would risk their lives in shark-infested water to flee the country that you just gave me an example of.
And if the situation were reversed, the injuries and the ailments that they sustain as a result of migrating to a place where they believe that they're going to be better off, I believe that they could be treated in a much better way than American healthcare facilities are currently able to treat people. So that's one example that I can think of socialism working very well in public health and in education.
All right.
She's like, speech is like, what?
Yeah. So
What?
Go Brandy. By the way, I did say something. I said the Shah. What I meant was the clerics. I apologize. And the Ayatollah and the IRGC. There's occasions, guys, you guys need to understand something. As I do have a learning disability and I have ADHD, and I am a critical thinker. I have pretty high IQ, but I also speak at 120 miles an hour. My mind works very, very fast. So when I am talking, I am formulating the next sentence. So sometimes my brain to mouth disengages, and I'll say things that are like last night when we were talking about Venezuela, but I also talked about Cuba. And then in my head, I did the math from Florida to Cuba. I'm like, 60, 90 miles, 100 miles away. And I was like, so South America, 200 miles, 300 miles away. And I didn't make the correlation when I'm thinking of Panama, and Venezuela and Cuba. So my mind sometimes misses that, but you know what I'm saying. I know you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
also, if he ever mistakes a name, he's talking about the person. He's horrible with names.
No, but I can remember every face in a restaurant with one glance. I can remember license plate numbers. I can remember minutia and detail. I can remember every single thing that anyone has ever said to me. And Olivia will tell you.
It really sucks in fights.
20 years, I'll be able to recite exactly the words she used. And shit, just did it the other day with Hayden. I'm like, no, this is what you said. People have done that with me on the show. And so occasionally I think what I did with Hugo Chavez, instead of saying Maduro, I said Hugo Chavez, which was the previous leader before Maduro. So it happens sometimes. And so if I say that, it's more of a Freudian slip or me just getting word to brain to mouth disease. So bear with me. Occasionally I will do that. And a lot of people, they'll send me a message. Matt, I believe you meant this. And I'm like, yeah, of course I did. I'm sorry. I messed up. I try not to get defensive. Sometimes I do. And I'm like, out of all the things I said, that's the thing you're going to focus on. But that's the point. Here is.
Hang on before I'm going to push it.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. We certainly need it. So 138.44. JD Stillwell coming in with $15. Thank you, JD. Great show. We enjoy the facts. The liberalism vaccine.
There you go. Good way to put it.
So that was Sean Scott. We're going to go into the shooting now. Please do not forget to donate, folks. We're not even halfway there, and I got to put up the clock. We're not going to do the video because I know that is not necessarily the easiest thing to do for people and to enjoy, and it's 3 minutes and it cuts into the show. So we're just going to trust that we're going to get there. With what happened today will make the Trump's midterm harder to win. No, we'll talk about it at the end of the show. I don't, what do you mean what happened today? There's so much there. I mean, we can talk about Venezuela. We can talk about stock market. We can talk about the housing costs. We can talk about the mandates on vaccines for kids. We can talk about the shooting.
Minnesota. Yeah, that's probably what he was thinking about. That's my assumption.
I don't think that makes it hard for Trump at all. Listen, the people who are going to vote for Trump are Democrats. The people who are going to vote against Trump are Democrats and liberals and progressive, alt left, and the alt right, pretty much conservatives, and they're going to vote for Trump and the people who are MAGA. Really, this election is going to be based on the middle. And there's only one thing that the middle hates more than Donald Trump, and that's Democrats. Lawlessness is the ICE video. The lawlessness is not conducive with the middle libertarian movement. Libertarians are very law abiding. They don't like overreach. They don't like the Fed so much, but they do believe that we have to have borders. They do believe that we have to have legal immigration into this country, not illegal. I'm going to go over the video, but I don't think it hurts Trump at all. I believe that this officer who was involved in the shooting will be exonerated, and I'll show you why, and I'll tell you why. So stick around. We're going to cover it right now.
Meow.
Yep, right, meow. So here is the first video of this shooting. Now, I also want to be very, very clear. Some people might find this disturbing, whatever. Don't watch it. We're probably going to get flagged. We might even get shut down because a lot of YouTube in particular doesn't like this type of stuff. I really don't care. I'm showing it anyway. Here is the first video. If you haven't seen it, you're going to see a roadway, two-way traffic. I break these down pretty well, so listen up. Two-way traffic. You're going to see several ICE vehicles, and you're going to see one SUV, which is going to be parked horizontally to the roadway or perpendicular to the roadway. And at that, and the ICE vehicles are perpendicular with the roadway. You're going to see them in a horizontal fashion, blocking, which essentially is the first mistake. You are stopping human beings, people with rights, individual rights, even officers and ICE officers, from proceeding on to their destination, which is legally the definition of kidnapping in Minnesota and everywhere else. So you have now detained and stopped unlawfully, illegally, people who are executing federal warrants and statewide warrants, and in the effort of doing their job. By you stopping them and refusing to move, you are now involved in a level of, once you are told to move and do not, into a kidnapping situation. I know this because this happened to me on a roadway. A lot of you were there, and I told you about this situation where two cars tried to get me in a fight, blocked me in. Traffic was behind me. I could not move forward. At that point, I was able and could have shot both of them, and I would have been arrested. My weapon would have been taken, and I would have been released on my own recognizance and found to be innocent. There was 12 officers there, and every single one of them said, this guy could have shot you. He was well within his rights. What you did was kidnapping. You stopped him from proceeding to his destination. We'll talk about that in detail. But here is the first video, and then you'll hear shots fired, and you'll hear a lady who's recording the second video talking throughout this. Here it is.
I want you to give me one example.
Deborah, we're not even there yet. So you may ask the question, why is she continuing to revel? She's dead, and she has now...
Her foot's on the gas.
Yeah, she was shot in the head. This was an immediate kill. And her foot, usually what happens, your body locks up, and your body, it doesn't go into rigor mortis, but it locks up, and it's frozen in the position that it is. Her weight more than likely hit that gas pedal. Did not take it off when she was shot. Her reaction would be to flex and tense. It probably hit the apricot, shut her down completely. She turned off, and then rammed into these cars. That's the first video.
Yeah, I hadn't seen that one.
For ICE.
This is Jacob Frey. He's the mayor of Minneapolis, and he decided in a vulgar tirade to go ahead and make the issue worse. I don't know if Minnesota is rioting right now, but I'm pretty confident it's going to tonight. This is going to... The Democrats have been looking for a reason to start riots again after the summer of love, and it's just a matter of time before this happens. Maybe, Olivia, you can look it up and see what you can find. But okay. Here is the video and his comments.
And I have a message for ICE. To ICE, get the fuck out of Minneapolis.
Ooh.
We do not want you here. Your stated reason for being in this city is to create some kind of safety, and you are doing exactly the opposite. People are being hurt. Families are being ripped apart. Long-term Minneapolis residents that have contributed so greatly to our city, to our culture, to our economy are being terrorized, and now somebody is dead. That's on you. And it's also on you to leave.
What a putz.
And
we've been warning for weeks that the Trump...
Of course, Governor Retard decides to come out. Tampon Tim has to get on this because this will distract from his $1 billion fraud that's been taking place, where he is resigning in shame, hopefully soon, but did pull out of the election and will not be running again. Thousands are protesting in Minneapolis. Just wait till
DC too.
Good. Let them. This is going to escalate, and it will continue. Good. You know what? It's about time that this fired off. Let's get it going. I'm sick of this bullshit. They want war. They want civil war. They want to burn it down. Let's let them do it. Go ahead. Start it up, because I'm sick and tired of this shit. I'll break it down for you. I'll tell you what you're missing and what the news media is not telling you. Here's Governor Tampon Tim telling you exactly what you need to know. The masculine of all masculine males on the planet.
We've been warning for weeks that the Trump administration's dangerous, sensationalized operations are a threat to our public safety, that someone was going to get hurt. Just yesterday, I said exactly that. What we're seeing is the consequences of governance designed to generate fear, headlines, and conflict. It's governing by reality TV.
Yeah, right. Okay, so talk about, projection. This is the video. We're going to show it to you in its entirety, and I'm going to break it down for you. I will not do, one thing I'm not going to do is I'm not going to play it in slow-mo. You don't play these in slow motion. It reduces the severity of the situation. If you take a look at a football play in real time or a hockey play in real time, some of them look like the most violent things, but then when you slow it down, it is completely benign. You watch a hockey play, you watch Gabriel Landeskog going into the net the other night where he more than likely broke several ribs. You watch it in slow-mo and it looks like nothing. You watch it at full speed with sound and it is for real. To see the car take off, you have to hear the engine, you have to hear the reactions, you have to hear the gunfire, you have to hear the hand on the handle, you have to hear the other officer scooting his feet over to the left. All of these things. Remember, sound is just as important in an investigation as visual. When's the last time you've watched a movie with no sound on? Probably around the same time as you've listened to a movie without watching the visuals. So we need audio and visual. Some people are visual learners, some people are auditory learners, and some people are both. This will kind of help put it in perspective. So let's watch it.
Put this in before you do it?
Yeah, no, you need to.
Okay.
We need donations like massive.
Yeah,
so,
I didn't want to put it in video.
Yeah, is that really where we're at? We're only at
Mr.
200.
Hollanday, 6156. Come on, dummies. I appreciate it. Yes, 200 even.
Folks, we need some help. $200. We're shy, and it's 22:11. 22 minutes and 11 seconds left. Olivia and I do have to go at 9 o'clock tonight. So we're hoping we can do this. They are attacking the federal ICE building, breaking the front doors and windows. Yep, then that is an insurrection, by the way. So this is a violent crime. So I believe every single person there should be arrested, thrown in prison, and tried with the maximum penalty.
Yep. Being held without trial because they're a terrorist.
They're a terrorist. Absolutely same thing they did to the J6ers. And guess what? Donald Trump will do it because I'm done. Get the National Guard in there. Get every police force in there. Start pepper spraying. Start wrapping them up. Start taking them down. Water hoses, fire cannons when it's 40 degrees. I don't care. Enough of this shit. Time to get these people out of our fucking country. And I'm serious. If they're found to be illegal, deport them. If they're found to have crimes, throw them in jail. And extenuate their crimes by adding terrorist threat onto them. Domestic terrorism charges. Hold them indefinitely. Send them to Guantanamo Bay. Enough of this. These people aren't protesting. These people are literally, no matter what happens, looking for a reason to burn shit down. They are going to find out very quickly that this administration is not going to fuck around. Pardon my French. Here's the breakdown of the video. Stay with us. You're probably going to get more than you get from other places. Here it is. All right, first thing, you see two vehicles. You see this silver, dark gray Toyota, maybe, I'm thinking. Another SUV behind. We don't have the video before this. This person who is recording right now is a civilian. You're going to see several officers leave the vehicle because they are trying to execute a warrant and leave this neighborhood, but there is a vehicle which is parked horizontally, blocking them from leaving, and they are trying to engage with this vehicle and the driver and tell them to get the fuck out of the way. Once they don't get the fuck out of the way, it then becomes, we're going to remove her. More than likely, they wouldn't have got her for obstruction. They would have pulled her from the vehicle, got in, drove the vehicle off, then moved her off to the side, and then driven by. And then the person who pulls her would move up to the back vehicle, get in, and go. That was what they were going to try to do because that is SOP. What happened after that is completely different. Let's watch. All right, get out of the car, get out of the fucking car. Two masked guys are wearing some cold weather gear. You can see that she is parked in the roadway, and the divider line is right along the middle. I can't show you my mouse on this, but either way, divider line is right in the middle. She is blocking 100%. Her brakes are engaged, and at this point, her car is in neutral. Why? Well, take a look at her exhaust. There is not a lot of exhaust coming out of the vehicle. There is a little bit, which shows an idle, and if you listen to the engine, she is in neutral.
No!
Not anymore. Did you hear the?
Yep.
So he tries to go ahead and activate on the door, and then she, before he activates the door, you'll hear a little noise. She activates the car and puts it into a reverse. Brakes are on. Boom. See that?
Mm-hmm.
See that light come on right there? She's now in reverse. Listen. Boom. You heard the engine again. She goes. Pff. So moves in from a neutral position into reverse. You can see that. And then she lets go right when they get there, kind of playing a little bit of a chicken game with them of, nana, nana, boo-boo, you can't touch me. I'm going to drive off. Watch.
No!
Lady screams. This doesn't help, by the way. The person recording, you asshole, you are creating more tension and more stress for these officers by screaming. At this point, it is assault. The officer gives you a direct order. You disobey that direct order, number one. Number two, he puts his hand on the vehicle and you move his feet. Watch. See that?
Mm-hmm.
Right there. That's a slide. Reaches, grabs it, and gets pulled by the vehicle. Watch it in real time.
No!
At that moment, she has used that vehicle and the intent to use that vehicle to escape and flee. So not only has she absolutely disregarded a direct order, she has obstructed justice, and now she is trying to flee the scene of a crime and disobeying an officer, and she is trying to leave. Her wheels are turned to the left. Watch her wheels.
No! Shit!
An immediate turn to the right. She changes it from reverse into drive. So now we have two course corrections. Her intent is to drive forward. She can't say, oh, my foot slipped. No, you put it into reverse, or down here put it into reverse purposefully, then put it into drive and turned the wheel. If you also watch, she slips. Now, this is something you're not going to see on the news. If you watch her spin, here's reverse. Watch what happens when she turns, and she has turned right at that cop. See her wheels?
Mm-hmm.
See this officer above it just came outside of the windshield? She turns straight at him and guns it. Watch the wheels. Do you see it?
Mm-hmm.
But what happens to the wheel? It spins. It hits a little bit of ice. And anybody who knows when you're on ice and you dig in like that, your wheels are going to turn until you burn through that ice and it grabs, and then it's going to go. Anyone who stepped on the gas in ice knows that it just doesn't jump. So she turns it right at him. Right at him. And when she steps on the gas, the wheels turn as well. Away from the officer. That is when he draws his weapon. Watch. See his hand on it right there?
There was another officer on the other side of the car.
Yes. So watch this. See how he pulls his weapon? Because he knows that she is going to reverse and come right at him. And not until her tires are spinning and aimed at him that he pulls and immediately fires. And look where the car's lined up. It's only after that it swerves after he shoots her in the head. Watch. Fires. There's the spray of the windshield. Watch. Impact on windshield. Boom, right there. Now watch the tire. And it almost hits him. You see how it almost takes his leg? If he would not have moved, he would have been hit and maybe not killed, but would have been severely injured. Watch. Stands there. He shuffles to the side, takes his shot. Now watch her turn. See? Tire then completely turns. She's already dead. And she guns it with foot on accelerator. And watch it in full time so now that you can see it.
No! No! Shame! Shame! Oh my fucking God! What the fuck? What the fuck? You just fucking, what the fuck did you do?
One more time. You guys, that's who I'm talking about, the one in front. You've got, I got to do this. Okay. So we're all on the same page. Officer 1, Officer 2, Officer 3, Officer 4. This is standard operating procedure. Officer came around to go ahead and look at the passenger side to see if she reaches into the tire well, because this officer won't be able to see through her back. So you have a person there too. But watch what happens. I am talking about this officer. This is who I want you to watch his feet. And when his gun comes out. First thing, reverse, look at the tire. She turns the tire towards him. That tire is straight on. It's exactly in alignment. This front tire here is straight on with this tire. She is going to go right at this officer. See that? Close that door immediately. Hurry up. She is going to go straight on. But now I want you to watch this front tire right here, and I want you to watch where it hits a little patch of ice when she guns it. See it spin? Do you see it? It's just a little spin, gets rotation, and when he sees it coming, he kills her. And then the wheel turns. Watch the shot. Watch the poof. See it?
Yep.
There's the shot.
Is that glass that's...
Yeah, she's going through the windshield. And then when she drives by, he pops her again right here.
I was wondering how many shots were fired.
I think 2. Maybe a third one, but let's listen.
Because the window was open, right?
Yeah. But see, watch, he pops her when she drives by. And then he picks up right there. Boom.
Yep.
See, he shoots her right there again. And I think he might do a third one. I think at least 2. Let's listen. I'll tell you.
No! Shame! Shame!
3 shots. Pop, pop, pop. So he gets first shot, which probably kill shots her. He hits her because car goes out of control. And then when she drives by, he gets a headshot and then probably gets her in the back or goes into the back of the seat. So 3 shots.
Just to make sure, or I mean,
yes,
why would
because,
you need...
because that's a weapon. I'll tell you that in a second. 1, 2, 3. So he shoots 3 times. You fire a third time because you have to understand. Here's the thing that people don't seem to get about this shooting. That vehicle can be assumed to be a weapon once the intent is established that that person is going to harm an officer. The moment she put it in reverse and tried to evade the police officer, it then became a weapon. Let me prove it to you. Liv?
Yes.
Here. You take this weapon.
Okay.
You fire it at me. Pop. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It misses. Were you trying to kill me?
Yes.
Okay. You take this weapon. It's on your hip and you don't use it. Were you trying to kill me?
No.
You take this weapon, you fire it, and you hit me. Were you trying to kill me?
Yes.
She had a gun. Did she hit an officer? She brushed one with the handle of the vehicle and then also the guy coming across, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did she successfully kill them?
No. But it was an attempt.
It's an attempt. Intent doesn't matter. You had a vehicle. If that cop wouldn't have moved, you would have hit him. He had every right to defend himself. Your intent is obsolete. And just because you weren't successful hitting him or successful killing him doesn't make you any less guilty of attempted murder. It's done. It's done. This is a completely 100% legitimate shooting. I showed you the tires. I showed you her intent. She was going to gun right for his ass. And she did. And the only thing that saved it was the ice, the inertia of the wheel and the spinning, positive traction of both tires in the front, because it's a front wheel drive. We see that with the tires. And then the shot, the initial shot, changes course, and he still had to dodge out of the way. She lined right up for him. Now, was she in a hurry? Sure. Was she trying to flee? Yes. Was she trying to kill them? We'll never know. But the point is that is not for the officer to decide. The officer is deciding, am I in danger? Is my life being threatened and my fellow officers? The answer is most assuredly yes, and I showed you how. Let's watch that one last time so everyone can go and stop saying that this wasn't a legitimate shooting.
You might want to move the red thing.
I already did.
No! No! Shame!
Once again.
Well, it's a good thing she crashed into the other cars. I mean,
Yeah, well, and also you got to consider this, is that they didn't have their guns drawn. Nobody was in a defensive posture. They were telling her, this guy literally says, this guy in the green right here. No! Sorry, I don't have the air pointers. I'm going to figure that out. But see this guy, his arms up, this closest one to us. He's pointing, move the car to the side of the road. Get it the fuck out of the way. Then this guy is saying, get it the fuck out of the way, like I'm going to move it. And that's when she evades. Remember, we're not even considering this officer right here who I think was hit. I think she bumped him, the one over all the way to the right.
No!
See that? Because this guy over to the right with a stocking cap on, who looks like he's in civvies, I don't know if when she backed up, if maybe she clipped him with the rear view or something like that, because he kind of backs up from the situation. But I think he also sees his buddy pulling. Now, the only thing I would say is that, would I have fired at that moment? No. I would have stepped out of the way of the vehicle, and if she continued, I would have done the shot to the side. But this line of sight from this gentleman right here, this guy right here, and this guy right here, you have a real small window. And you're putting bullets down range where there's two officers. I don't know if I would have made that shot. I don't know if I would have made a windshield shot, especially with a 9. Pretty sure he's got a 9. I don't know if I'm going to make that windshield shot. I'm going to wait for the vehicle, move out of the way, and then I'm going to shoot at that person when both officers are clear with a side shot. I think the side shot was fine. I think the first shot was very risky. You could have had that round, hit her, graze her, go through the windshield, bounce off, hit that guy. Could have went through her, hit him. There's just too many variables. This shot right here is much cleaner. There's nobody in the direct line of fire. It's a close-up shot. There's less opportunity. And then I don't know if I make this second shot. I would have popped 2 here, and I don't know if I would have made a third follow-up shot right there. The reason why is because now you're putting a bullet down range where there's civilians and other people over here. So my point is that, is there training opportunity here? Sure. But this officer is not a slouch. Watch his draw. Within a matter of a fraction of a second, he draws his weapon and realizes it's go time. He takes the shot. And honestly, this guy's probably a hell of a shot. This guy knows his shit. To get 3 rounds on target and probably hit all 3, he knows what he's doing. So he made the judgment call. He felt his life was in danger. He made the shot. He had the shot selection. He had the window. He hit her. And then he followed up with 2 other less risky shots. So this is in foresight. I'm not even questioning his shot selection. He might get someone talking to him about this after he meets with his representative and they have a sit down and the investigation's taking place. But I don't even know if you're going to question that shot. You got to stop that vehicle, because it's my understanding also that Lawrence from Fox said that he has some friends in the business that said that this guy was dragged before, and therefore that could have extenuated his reaction. Now, that's not going to be good in the public's eye, because they're going to say, well, he jumped the gun. No, this guy's experienced. He's been dragged before, didn't want another officer dragged, and made a decision to eliminate the target, who was using their vehicle as a weapon.
Well, she started to move when the other officer's arm was still in the vehicle. And if he didn't react quick, she could have drugged him.
She could have drugged him. He could have, listen.
And then he would have hit into this other officer, and it would have been bad.
You heard what I said. It's a risky shot. And I think anybody who has done any minutes downrange or in law enforcement knows that that's a little bit of a risky shot. Okay? Once again, if he misses, that firearm is pointed right here or right here. It's a risky shot, but he made it. He made the shot. He eliminated the threat. It's a clean shoot. I'm telling you, would I have made that shot selection? I don't know. If I'm in that situation, I don't even know if I hit target. I don't even know if I get my firearm out that quick. I don't know. I'm not in that situation. It's really easy to play Monday morning quarterback. I am in full support of this officer. It's a clean shoot. Shot selection, that's nitpicking. He made his shot selection. He nailed his target. He put her lights out and won, and most assuredly finished with the other 2 shots.
Question, do you know anything about moment of threat ruling by the Supreme Court?
Yes.
Okay.
Supreme Court has already stated that in the moment, I didn't cite the Supreme Court case, but I gave you what they've stated, is that if there is an imminent threat in the course of doing their duties And that threat could be life-threatening. They have equal force and right to use equal force to eliminate threat. Period. Plain and simple. Like, this is a clear-cut case of justified shooting. Did he need to put 3 rounds into her? You guys, when somebody has a gun, I'm not going to wait for them to shoot me. And if somebody breaks into my house and they want to kill me or my family, I'm going to unload the mag into them. What I'm not going to do is once they're on the ground, put 2 into their chest. I'm not going to do that. If they're still moving, I'm going to keep my gun trained on them. I'm going to reload, put another mag in, and I'm going to let them know if you move, if you flinch, I'm going to end you even harder than I already have. More than likely, they're not going to move after my first 3 shots. But this guy did everything that he should have done. I would have done the same thing. Maybe I would have drawn and not fired in the first. I would have moved and then fired on the way by. I don't know. But it doesn't matter, because what we would do is immaterial. Was he justified in what he did? And the answer is yes. Comments on this?
Sandy says maybe he shouldn't have stood in front of the vehicle with anticipation to flee.
Yeah.
Thank you, JD.
Yep.
Great breakdown. Officer looked to be clipped in the left leg by the SUV.
Yeah, it was very, very close. And should he have stood in front of the vehicle? No. But he wasn't in front of the vehicle at the beginning. Folks, we've got 2 minutes and 21 seconds to hit 300. I really hope we can hit it. Olivia and I do have to go, and we've got some other things we want to show. So we'd really like to hit it. And with as many people as we have on, we should. We have almost 200 people on right now. And you notice 183 likes. That doesn't happen. The fact that we have equal likes for the amount of people means that people have come on and stayed. That is good news.
We actually have more people on YouTube than we do Rumble right now, which is rare.
Well, that's exciting. I'll take it. We got 113 on Facebook. It's nice to see Facebook actually give us some love for once.
But Rumble, come on, people. There's 32 people and only 10 likes.
Okay.
10 thumbs up. Come on, hit the thumbs up button.
So if you look at this, when this is a great question. Should he be in front of the vehicle? I'll take the red thing off. He wasn't in front of the vehicle. She changed the dynamics of the situation. Watch. Vehicle, he's over here. I don't have it. I got to get my pointers back.
He's over on the other side.
Now he's in front. He's on the side. He's with this guy. It's 2x2. One front bumper, one here coming up to the side. He's watching her in case she goes ahead and pulls anything from the dash or there's another passenger there. She changes the angle of the encounter. He doesn't have time to move. He tries to.
So
See?
she backs up, and now he's in the front, so that's why he steps to the side.
That's right. Now he moves. Yeah, this is clear cut. She's fucked. Well, she's fucked because she's dead.
She's in, yeah.
She's dead. And here's the last thing I will say. The best thing that I can tell you, okay? I'm not going to mourn a crazy white liberal bitch. Fuck you. I'm sick of them. And honestly, it's time for a message to be sent. You guys have been targeting ICE. You guys have been hounding these people. You have made their lives miserable. One less liberal, whiny fucking Karen or an ICE officer or 10 or 20. Sorry, I'm going to choose ICE every day of the week. Call me a bootlicker, call me what. I'm not going to mourn some crazy white fucking liberal. There's too many of them. 100 will take her place. They are a virus. They are a disease. And honestly, fuck around and find out.
Good riddance.
Good riddance. Sorry.
I got no sympathy.
I'll pour one out for my homie. I'm done. I don't care. I don't care. I'm not. I have no empathy or sympathy for her or her family or anything at all.
Anyone who breaks the law, I have no.
Not even that. Anyone who puts a cop in danger and tries to block ICE, you were asking for it. I mean, you're an idiot. I feel the same way about Ashley Babbitt, and that pisses people off. You don't break into a secure area where Capitol Police are going to defend. You don't. You don't get that. You don't get to do that. We either are law and order or we're not. You get to decide. But what you did was break into a secure area. What you did was try to kill a cop. Whether that was your intent or not is immaterial.
She's not even from Minnesota.
Yeah, she's from Colorado, right?
I don't know where she's from.
Wouldn't shock me. All right, folks, we got 0 minutes. We got $80. This is a really damn good show, man. I wish we could still do it. Here is, I have 2 more videos. I have Woke and then we got to get out of here. Here is woke started long before white liberal women in 2020, 2016 when Donald Trump came around. This shit has been going on since postmodernistic feminism. The first and second wave of feminism was the first wave was about, listen, we want to be able to go into the workplace and not have someone literally walk by and grab our ass. We want to be in the workplace and we don't want to be sexually accosted. We don't want to be degraded. We don't want to be looked down upon. Second wave of feminism, we want equal pay. We want the right to vote. We want to burn our bras. We want to be able to do what we want. Then the third and fourth wave of feminism came to, we want to be treated better than men. And the fourth wave was, we hate men. This video is fantastic. I want you to listen to this and watch this. This is great. And if you haven't had a chance, please do me a favor. Please do me a favor. Please go over to thedumbshow.com and help us get to goal. This show costs a lot of money to put forward, and we want to try to hit that goal every time. We do, but we want to earn it. We feel we've earned it. We feel we are crushing these shows lately, and the last 3 months, they've been really solid. We want to continue this course. Please help us out.
Feminization has caused one specific particular problem, and that is wokeness. Like a lot of people, I was baffled by the woke phenomenon. Why did everyone seemingly go crazy all at once in the summer of 2020? It was inexplicable. It seemed to be mass hysteria, genuinely. And the more I thought about what caused it, which is a very important question, because if we know what causes it, we know how to prevent it from happening in the future. I read an article that someone else wrote that put forward a really simple, elegant thesis, which is that wokeness is simply feminine patterns of behavior applied to institutions where women had not been very well represented until recently. Women tend to be more consensus-focused, consensus-oriented. Men, when they're approaching a moral question, will ask, what are the facts? What are the rules? Whereas women will say, what are the relationships at play here? How can we make everybody happy? Mm-hmm. How can we reach an outcome that will satisfy all the parties? As opposed to the male perspective of how do we reach an outcome that is just and according to the rules. That sounded a lot like wokeness to me. And the sort of piece that made it all click into place for me was the coincidence of timing. It is the case, just we can all agree as a matter of fact, that a lot of institutions that went woke or were affected by wokeness became demographically female in the last 5 years. Law schools in America turned majority female in 2016, and they've gotten a little bit more female every year since then. I think now it stands at 55, 56%. The New York Times became majority female in its workforce in 2018, which is maybe why it was so susceptible to the fads of wokeness and the internal policing and the Slack revolts that took place internally over there. Medical schools are now majority female. The white-collar workforce overall, employees in the United States with college degrees, a majority of them are women. And managers, management positions in the U.S. workforce, 46% female, so almost majority female. So the fact that all of these institutions tipped over to being majority female around the same time that wokeness emerged seemed to me that couldn't possibly be a coincidence. And one of the most consistent psychological differences between men and women is women have a strong impulse of caring, right? Which is exactly, I mean, I
listen, it's a very interesting breakdown. I don't think any of those things disavow a woman's opinion. In fact, I think that's what makes women great. Women are emotional thinkers. That's the way that most women are programmed. And to say that men are logical thinkers and we care about facts, I think women care about facts too. They just don't only care about facts. Men can be a little myopic where facts are paramount. With me, it certainly is. I very rarely care about people's feelings. I care more about your facts. That's just who I am, and that's the way I'm built. And most guys are that way. But the interesting thing is that the woke ideology bred from that mentality. Come here, baby. Bred from that mentality in the waves of feminism. So to say that woke was some social justice initiative for Black people to help people understand systemic racism inside the government, the workplace, yes, we know that, but that's not the definition of woke today. Woke is being used as to be socially aware that racism, sexism, transphobia, homophobia is inherent in white people. And we have to do everything we can to castigate those people out of society, from leadership, from TV, to influencers, to book writers, everything. That white people are bad. That shit is not what the original woke ideology was from. That stems from original feminism, where white males were, the hedonic society, were ultimately, the patriarchal society was antithetical to women's rights. And that is now carried into everything from sex to religion, to credo, to abortion, to gun rights, to everything, is the white male and the white Anglo-Saxon Protestant family, and the nuclear family is the detriment to society. That was born from modern wave feminism, and it arranged from there. An interesting video. Last video of tonight.
I just hit one in, just so you know.
You just put one in. Thank you. Jeff Oliphant at 240. Folks, we're close. Got to get some help here. I think we've got one from Chuck we can put in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank you, Chuck. Chuck donated twice tonight in order to hit goal.
Yes.
I appreciate it. That's all I can say is I very, very much appreciate it. It means the world when we hit this thing. Wrapping this up here with our last video. We're now at 290. Chuck Peterson came in with $100 tonight, saving the
50.
150.
No, 50.
No, but he gave another one. This
oh
is
yeah,
his second.
that's true. Yeah,
100.
Sorry, my
so
bad.
He did 50 and 50.
Yeah,
so
bad.
Chuck came in and almost saved the day. We missed it by $10. We do, but I think these shows are better. What's your feedback? What do you guys think? With the last video tonight, then Olivia and I are going to sign off. This one kind of puts a bow on the night. Joseph, women are beautiful and belong in the kitchen. Anyway,
oh boy,
I want to let you guys know I've been telling you for a long time. Everyone's telling you that the midterms are going to be horrible. There's no way Republicans are going to win. Listen, don't ever. It's the roulette wheel theory. Are your odds better of landing on black or landing on red based on the previous roll? And the answer is no. It's not. Every time you spin the wheel again, the variability changes. Okay? That means that if you have 0 to 100 numbers being displayed and you roll every single 100 times, you're not guaranteed to hit every single number. The variability gets worse the more you spin. I know that's hard for people to comprehend, but they think the more I spin, the better it's going to be. No, because it goes to 0 every single time. You have a better chance of placing it on 1 than you do placing it after it spins 100 times. Otherwise, when you walk into that establishment, you could say, how many times have you guys spin the wheel in the last year? Well, 36,752 times. Well, then I'm going to get a 50 for sure. No, because you don't understand how many times you got a 50 in the previous times. My point is this. The roulette wheel methodology of keep spinning, the better odds get is not true. The same thing is looking at elections from the past and saying, I'm going to look at these indicators and guarantee, because only 4 times in U.S. history has the House and the Senate stayed with the president in power, except for those 4 times. So they're like, okay, well, 4 out of blah, blah, we've got a 98% chance. No, because you had a 0% chance when it actually stayed with the president in power. Don't you understand? You didn't have a 4% chance of that happening. It was a 100% chance under those circumstances. So we're looking at a very different Senate, a very different House, a very different Congress than we were in those other elections. But what are the key indicators telling us? Well, they're telling us that, yes, the United States most assuredly dislikes Trump. They're also saying they dislike Republicans and the GOP. But what do they hate, Liv, more than the GOP and MAGA?
I have
liberals.
Liberals, yeah, okay.
Are you even following along?
Kinda.
Okay, here it is.
Can I put this one in?
Yes, quickly.
Okay.
Tommy Cawthon saves the day, gets us in at 300. Thank you, Tommy. We appreciate you 100%. We got it. That's all we're looking for. Now we can end it on. You have another. Oh,
one more just came in.
Paul gave 150 tonight. Paul and Chuck came in heavy. And everyone gives all the time. You guys are amazing. Here's the last video. Watch it. This is good news for tonight. This will take us into Thursday with Leroy and I tomorrow. Listen to this because this is important. This gives us a chance. Go ahead. Gives us a chance in 2026.
Thank you, Paul. Appreciate
because you
it.
guys always bring it. Well done tonight, Olivia. Like your more involvement. You have great points about time. Yes, thank God, right? God, it only took me shutting up. Here we go.
About Democrats right now.
Yeah, I mean, Democrats in the minds of the American public are lower than the Dead Sea. What are we talking about here? Well, let's take a look. The net approval rating for Democrats in Congress, you said it, Kate Baldwin, the lowest ever. Look at this. Overall, they are 55 points underwater. Their approval rating is south of 20%. It's even worse when you look at independents. Look at this. Negative 61 points. That means that their approval rating.
You guys, independents, those people are going to decide the vote. They are going to decide the vote. And they hate Democrats. This 2026 election, if Donald Trump can work on the affordability, can have the tax breaks that look at, we have 218 likes. Do the affordability that he's been talking about, right? But more importantly, have those tax breaks come back. Have some housing prices go down. Have the Fed drop the interest rate a couple of times. Have energy keep dropping. Start seeing steak and pork doing a little bit better on its price model. Those things take place. 2026 is up for grabs. And right now, they are projecting that quarter one and quarter two is going to be the best quarter one and quarter two that we've had in 5 years. Things are looking good. The economy is doing well. This is bad news for Democrats, okay? So don't be black-pilled. Continue to focus on the positives.
61 points lower than their disapproval rating. Quinnipiac has been polling this question for the better part of the 21st century. They have never found Democrats, at least those in Congress, in worse shape than they are right now.
How are voters feeling about Democrats right now?
Yeah, I mean, Democrats in the mind.
I think it's because of everything they're polling right now. And I think people are starting to see anything Donald Trump does, we're going to say the opposite.
Right.
And the first time it really hit was back in Trump's first term when MS-13 started coming up. And Donald Trump called them animals, and Nancy Pelosi came out and defended MS-13.
Yes, remember? Yep.
But that was kind of a one-off. Mm-hmm. They just disagreed with him. Now they are going against everything he says, and they are defending bad people. They're defending a dictator. They're not saying anything about Iran, the Iranian people, what they're doing. No, but they're going to defend Maduro. Right. They're defending drug lords. They're defending people who sell the drugs. They're defending illegals. They're defending illegals. They're defending MS-13. They're defending Trendewagra or whatever it is. Yep. They are defending anything that goes against what Trump says.
Yeah.
And I think people are starting to see through that and see that they are a mindless machine that only has one thing: hate Donald Trump, say the opposite of what he says. And they're not thinking for themselves. And I also really hope people start waking up and realize that if they don't get a hold of this party, the future of their party is Mamdani and AOC. And then we are really screwed, because if they can get a hold of that Democratic Party, then it's not a Democrat party, it's a socialist party.
Yeah.
And that's where things really start to go downhill.
It's well said. Listen, the black pillars, don't listen to these people. Don't listen to these people. Don't listen to Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens. They don't know shit. They are multimillionaires who have no idea what your life is like. Listen to the people who know. Listen to the people who are down there in the trenches. Okay? Listen to chicks on the right. They know what they're talking about. Listen to Officer Tatum. He knows what he's talking about. Listen to Ben Shapiro upon occasion, but hold him at a distance at times. You can listen to Bill Maher. He gives a straight poop. You don't have to like everything he says, but you can listen to Fetterman. If you want to listen to some liberals, you listen to Fetterman, listen to Maher. They're pretty much down to earth, and they're fairly reasonable. There are people out there that you can listen to who don't necessarily have to follow into the flames, because Candace Owens has no interest in you. She has interest in the clicks and the money. That's all she cares about. If not, she would continue to be going after TPUSA. But you notice that she's made disclaimers. As soon as the lawyers got involved, she shut her mouth about TPUSA. But she just went ahead and tied TPUSA and Erica Kirk to it again. This woman has no moral compass. She has no scruples. Stop the black pilling. Donald Trump is doing great work. Is he doing everything we want? No. Are there things that he's leaving out? Yes.
But here's the other thing.
It's been a year.
But here's the other thing. Just because he doesn't do every single thing you wanted him to do in office,
Right.
you can't be mad at him. Because I don't know how many people jumped ship because of the whole Epstein files. I mean, he's not God. He's a man. And he also can't just, he's not a king. He can't freaking.
Why wouldn't you listen to Ben Shapiro? I didn't say follow Ben Shapiro into the fire. And I said hold him at arm's length. But what's funny is that there were 3 people who truly made this version of the conservative movement, which pushed out the neocons and the neoconservative movement of the Bush administration. It was Ben Shapiro, it was Crowder, and it was Charlie Kirk. Those are the 3. They made this movement. And people are going after Ben Shapiro because he's a Jew. And I think that's myopic. I think that's leftist ideology, and I think it's stupid. Ben Shapiro should not be followed blindly. Nobody should be followed blindly. But Ben Shapiro is not an enemy. Ben Shapiro's wrong a lot of times, and I've called him out on it. I called him out on J6. I called him out on the vaccines. I called him out hating Trump. He's been wrong about a lot of things. But that doesn't mean that Ben Shapiro isn't an important part of this movement. I think the hatred and the vitriol that people are now going to display for Dan Bongino is very similar to what they did to Ben Shapiro. And you're going to see it. Are you going to be surprised? Because they're trying to get you to hate Bongino. They're trying to get you to think that he protected Epstein and covered up some bullshit. You have no evidence of that. Nobody's been able to prove that. Bongino went in there and he had a headwind for this. He talked about it on a show for 4 years. He gets there. Do you really think that he would destroy his credibility by covering something up? Is that what we believe? Or is it possible that this Epstein thing has been weaponized? This Epstein thing has been blown out of proportion, and a bunch of people who don't know what the fuck they're talking about has turned this into the great scapegoat of this generation. They've turned it into the deep throat of this generation. If the Democrats are using it to weaponize it against Trump, it can't be what they say it is. You know better than this, people. Am I trying to sell you on Ben Shapiro? No, I'm asking you to listen to Ben Shapiro. I'm asking you to listen to Nick Fuentes. I'm asking you to listen to Candace Owens. I'm asking you not to follow them blindly. And me too. Challenge what I say. Challenge my thoughts with logic, with deduction. Don't sit here and do it with emotion.
Yeah, I mean, who just said that?
But CJ, you said Ben Shapiro is evil when he speaks. Why? What is it that he says that makes him evil? Unless it's the defense of Israel, because everything else out of his mouth is pro-life, limited government, Second Amendment protection, America first through aiding our allies, Judeo-Christian ethics. What's evil about Ben Shapiro? If it isn't because he's a Jew, what else is it? Because everyone in the whole space is telling you to hate him because he is a Jew and that he's Israel first, which is not true. In fact, Ben Shapiro has said since he was 17 years old that Israel needs to break away from the United States when it comes for militarily, that it puts them in a quagmire, makes them a target, that they need to step away from the United States influence. They need to stop putting money into U.S. politics. Ben Shapiro has said all these things. It's like people forgot. But let me get this straight. Jordan Peterson, Ben Shapiro, Mark Levin, all 3 of them were very well respected and loved in this business, in this institution. What do they all have in common? They're Jews. I'm not running around with blinders on. I'm calling out the hypocrisy. There are people who have a disdain for Israel and the Jews, and they are growing in this party. And people like Tucker, people like Candace, people like Jake Shields, people like Steve Bannon, Mr. Epstein himself, have alienated and hated the Jews. But I can show you videos less than a year ago for Tucker Carlson and Steve Bannon saying Israel is our greatest ally. I can show you videos from 2.5 years ago of Candace Owens doing the same thing. I can show you videos of all of them who have turned against Israel because the youth in this movement have been following people like Nick Fuentes, Stu Peters, Jake Shields, Steve Bannon, the Hodge twins, and have moved against Israel. But what they haven't done is called out Qatar. They haven't called out UAE. They haven't called out Egypt. They haven't called out the JIP, the IRGC, the Houthis. They haven't called out the terrorist groups of Al-Qaeda or ISIS-K. What they do is they sit here and hate the Jews and defend Muslims. The reason why is because the money coming into this network, into Con Inc., used to be predominantly Jewish. Now, Qatar, UAE, Bahrain, and other countries are coming in and cities and pushing dollars into this space and moving this sentiment against the Jews, winning the court of public opinion. This is what Charlie Kirk warned of. Everyone keeps pointing their finger at Israel killing Charlie Kirk. I think the man that they got, Tyler Robinson, killed Charlie Kirk. But if you're going to point it at anybody, Muslims had a reason to kill him before anyone, because he was the biggest defender of Israel, no matter if he was angry and pissed off at some of the things that Netanyahu did and the fact that they pulled millions away from him, which pissed him off. It doesn't mean he was going to abandon Israel. He wrote 7 pages that he gave to Israel, gave to Prime Minister Netanyahu, to say, these are the things you need to do to win the argument that you are terribly losing right now. You're losing the information war to Israel. You're losing it to millions of bots that are pro-Muslim. That's what Charlie Kirk did. And people can try to change that and espouse all the things they want. I hope you listen to me. I hope you give me a chance. Matt, I've never heard you mention Brian Taylor Cohen. There's a lot of people I haven't mentioned, man.
Dodie said, Trump's only been president a year. He's got loads of crap he has to fix from the last administration.
Yep.
It's like if you say you purchase a house and you go into that house and the previous owners didn't move any of their crap out and hadn't cleaned any air and the place is completely filthy and dirty. You can't go in and move your furniture and your clothes in without getting their crap out and cleaning the house top to bottom and getting it where you want, and then you move your stuff in. You can't expect Trump to come in on the first day and fix everything or to do his agenda. He needs to fix everything first, fix America, and then go forward.
Listen, last thing CJ says, because God gifted me with certain abilities, I literally get sick if I lie. I get really sick and all my hair is raised straight up if anyone lies to me. God gave me a gift I value. That's wonderful. I don't know what else to tell you. The gifts that we have received from God are fantastic. My gift is calling out bullshit. So if you're going to tell me that Ben Shapiro is evil, you need to tell me why. Not because the hairs stand up on your arms. Tell me why. Give me facts. Because I can tell you why Candace is evil. I can tell you why Tucker Carlson is evil. Tucker Carlson claimed that he was possessed by a demon and had a demon visit him in bed. That's pretty fucking evil. Ben Shapiro is a Jew. And that is all that people can say about why they hate Ben Shapiro. I'm glad you have gifts. I have them too. My gifts and my emotions and my feelings mean nothing in the state of things. If you want to sell me on why Ben Shapiro is evil, you need to tell me why. And I don't think you can. And that's the problem. Now, if your intuition is telling you that he's evil, well, I'm not going to argue with you on that. That's an opinion, and you are entitled to your opinion. But if you're going to come on my show and say that Ben Shapiro is evil, you better tell me why. Just like if anyone came on here and said Candace Owens was evil, I'd be like, well, why do you think she's evil? And then I'm going to agree with you. I'm probably not going to call you out because I can tell you why she's evil. I can tell you why Candace Owens is evil. I can tell you how she hates Donald Trump. She hated him in 2016, how she had a company that docks the people who followed MAGA. I can tell you that she is not necessarily pro-life. I can tell you she's not pro-Second Amendment. I can tell she was vying for positions to work for the Democratic Party through channels like CNN and MSNBC before she got to Trump. I can tell you the only thing she hung her hat on is what Bill Cosby said. She took Bill Cosby's entire platform, which was that the patriarch and matriarch inside African-American families were being destroyed by drugs, by crime, and by the Democratic Party. And losing fathers was killing black youth. She took that statement and went ahead and made an entire platform on it. And when that was done, she had nothing. She got fired from every single job she's ever been with. She got fired from her original position. She got fired for Daily Wire because of what she said and the shit that she said and the turmoil that she created. She's being sued by the French government because she says that a woman has a dick and she will not go ahead and stop saying it. She's going to be sued into oblivion. She hates Trump. She blames Britney Spears. She blames underground tunnels and trapdoors that killed Charlie Kirk. She says it was the Egyptian airplane. She says it was the Jews. She said it was Mossad. She said it was British intelligence. She went ahead and blamed Donald Trump, the administration, Kash Patel. She said Eric Kirk. She went ahead and hit TPUSA. Am I missing anybody? You want to know why Candace Owens is evil? Is because she steals from people who believe her lies. That is an evil person. That's it. And Ben Shapiro in this world is losing viewers. Why? Tell me why. Is it because of the things he says or because it's the things that he believes? I don't agree with everything Ben Shapiro says. In fact, I've challenged him more than just about anybody. But what I will not say is that he is evil. That's my opinion. All right. Liv, wrap us up. We're going. We stayed later. We gave some overtime. We're out of here.
Hey, Sandy just said their oldest son is now expecting their 8th child. That will be grandchild 21.
That's
Holy
incredible.
cow, Sandy. That's a lot of Christmas presents, but congratulations. That's great.
Not selling you anything. It's my opinion. Sure. That's great. I don't disagree with the people's opinions because opinions are based on emotion and not fact, and I completely get it. Intuition's important. And if you think Ben Shapiro is not a good person, you have every right to think that, and I will die for you to say that. But what you don't get to do is say that he's evil as fact and then not be able to defend it, which you didn't do. You made an opinion. Great. Your opinion's good. Great opinion. Perfect. That's all I got. Folks, thanks for watching the Don't Unfriend Me show. I appreciate you. I thank you so much for being on. The people that we disagree with happen to be some of the best fans that we have had ever. Don't get upset if I don't agree with everything you say. I don't want you agreeing with everything I say. What you don't get to do.
You have to agree with everything I say, though.
You do.
Because I'm a woman.
But what you can't do is come in here and disagree with everything and try to go ahead and piss people off and make the show about you.
Just to do it.
And not that young lady was doing that. I'm not saying that. Well, that was that other guy. What was his name? Weedy, Sweeney Todd, whatever his name is. You don't get to come in here and get people all riled up and not have any facts and literally just toss grenades. We don't want you in here. Go somewhere else. Go to the Hodge twins. They love you people. Good night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Leroy and I, 7:00. Good night. Have a great one. God bless.
Night, y'all.
See ya.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
Ethan,